Chat. What's up? Welcome to the stream. I didn't stream yesterday. I didn't feel like it. I'm sorry. But we're back on the grind. We're gonna react to his story. We have doubled the shorts to watch, chat. So this is gonna be really good. Alright, bro. We have like double the shorts. So, are you ready? Chat. Are we ready? I was gonna add some new soundboards, but I couldn't. I still have the old ones. I'll try to get some new ones. But, are we ready? Shout out to Isabella. Alright. Yes? Okay. Let's go. What do we... I don't even know what to watch. I don't even know what to watch, man. Oh, I don't even know what to watch. Actually, I don't. Chat, what do we watch? Which one do we watch? Alright. Think. Let's watch this.
Every day my girlfriend would lay out her surgical toolkit of pliers, tweezers, and scalpels. I
Hold
was
up.
driving my dog home from the vet
this
after
one.
getting his big B's chopped off, and I told
What? What do you mean, big what?
him, it was for your own good, buddy. But when I checked the rearview mirror, his eyes were locked on mine,
Oh, nah.
and he was growling with drool all over his
It's actually over. The dog is angry.
teeth. My hands went white on the steering wheel because he knew exactly what I took from him, and it was just me and him at home tonight. At home, I tossed him his favorite treat to make peace, but he let it bounce off the floor without breaking eye contact. So I put my palms out and used
Chat, the dog is
my
angry.
calm voice. Easy, boy. Let's talk about this.
The dog is real angry. Yeah, I remember you, Mason.
You can live without your big B's. But then he shook his head,
What?
and the cone fell right off, clattering on the tile below. My legs started trembling because there was nothing stopping him anymore. So I grabbed a couch cushion and held it over my waist like a shield. Please
Did bro
spare
just
my
do a
life.
backflip? What?
I'll get it back. But that's when he started barking and ran straight towards me. Before I could say
Oh,
another
nah.
word, his teeth clamped down hard
Oh,
right
what?
between
What the?
my legs, and an inhuman scream came out of my mouth. An hour later, I was laid out on the same
Oh.
vet's table, and my dog sat in the
Yo, what? Is this like payback? What is the dog doing?
corner with a smile, watching the
What?
vet strap his cone around my neck. He patted my arm and said, "It's for your own good, buddy." I was driving my dog home from the vet after getting
I
his
didn't
big
know
B's
dogs
chopped
can
off, and
speak
every
either.
day my girlfriend would lay out her surgical toolkit of pliers, tweezers, and scalpels, then climb onto my head and start popping my pimples. Isn't that so satisfying?
Shout out
She'd
to
shove the
Totter.
giant ball of white puss towards me with a smile.
What?
It felt like being stabbed, but I loved her, so I let her. But then one day she
What do you mean? What?
pressed her thumb into the giant birthmark on the side of my head. I'm
Oh, nah, that's a
gonna pop
birthmark.
it.
What?
She climbed on me with a set of tweezers, but I instantly shot back. That's a birthmark. You can't pop it. But she reached for it. Come on, it'll be fine. I gently pushed her back. I said no, this is too dangerous to pop. Her face dropped.
A birthmark? That's not even a pimple anymore. That's just like a part of you. You can't.
Lip
Can't do
quivered.
anything.
Fine, but can I at least pop the others? I said sure, and sat down. She squealed with this devious grin, and I chuckled
Oh,
as she climbed
nah.
on my head. And for 5 minutes, everything was
Oh.
normal. But then I felt a sharp pain on my birthmark. Stacy, stop. I pulled away, but the pain on my birthmark somehow got worse.
It's over.
That's when I realized Stacy was clamping down on my birthmark with tweezers, squeezing so hard her knuckles were turning white. It's almost out, just a bit more. She smiled and squeezed harder. The pain
Oh,
shot through me,
nah.
and I grabbed her hand to get her to let go, but her face turned red. I said it's gonna be fine. She clamped the tweezers as hard as she could, and suddenly I heard a ripping sound. The birthmark
Oh.
fell off my head,
What the hell? Chat, what is going on?
and blood started pouring from my temple as it felt like I'd just been stabbed there. Stacy looked at the bloody birthmark that was now the couch, and her hands flew to her mouth. Oh my God, why didn't you tell me this would happen? You know I'm squeamish. Her eyes rolled back and she fainted, crashing on the floor.
Are we
I shook her,
serious?
but she was
This is
fully
her
out.
fault. What do you mean? You're gonna treat gifts, Patrick. W. Patrick. Guys, subscribe if you want a shout out.
Covered the gushing hole in my head, then dialed 911, explaining to them my girlfriend just tore a birthmark off my head thinking it was a pimple. Every day
What?
I was in a mall parking
They were 6-7 Patrick. They were the treat gift.
garage, listening to
First 6-7 of the gift. Thank you, Patrick. of the stream.
Music in my car when a stranger in a black hoodie ripped open my door and threw himself into my back seat.
Oh,
Drive,
nah.
Go,
Shout
go.
out to the pumpkin.
Go, he screamed. I just clocked out of a 10-hour shift, just wanting to
10
relax.
hours?
But when I opened my mouth to ask who the hell he was,
They
a
were the
loud
treat
boom
gifts.
echoed through the garage, and my whole car shook. He screamed louder, "Drive or else we're dead." So I slammed on the gas. My
It
hand
might be over for him, chat. Shout out to Jared.
shaking on the wheel. Sure, I'd just become some criminal's getaway driver. I floored it toward
It might be over.
ramp, but we were on the 6th floor, 6 levels of concrete between us and the street. Thick black smoke started flooding the garage, and I could barely see past my own hood. People were sprinting for the stairs, screaming, and through the haze, I spotted a few others in black hoodies bolting the opposite way. Cars were catching one after another,
You were the
flames
gold coin.
crawling across the low ceiling. Then, an SUV beside us exploded, the heat slamming against my window, and I flinched so hard, I nearly hit the wall. I saw a sign, 4th floor. If these
4th floor.
were bombs, 4
Bombs? Wait, what? That's a bride on.
floors of concrete could crush us any second. That's when the man in the back started rocking, muttering, "I'm gonna go to jail. Oh my god, I'm gonna go to jail." My blood ran
What is
cold.
bro saying?
Did you do this? What the hell is
Oh wait, that was the sun's fault? What?
wrong with you? But he yelled,
What is
"Shut
going
up,
on?"
just go faster." Then I saw it. The ramp ahead
Oh, chat, that's bad. That's
blocked by
really
a burning
bad.
truck. I had 2 options: stop and burn alive, or floor it through a gap barely wider than my car.
Shout out to
No
Parker.
way I was dying right after a 10-hour shift, so I closed my eyes and slammed the gas. We shot out of the garage
Come on.
into the daylight, and I slammed the brakes. Firefighters swarmed the entrance, hosing down smoke and pulling people from the building. Off to the side, cops were rounding up.
Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Cooley Law. Chat, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen on August 22. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. Some of you may not. I've been saying that something's gonna happen on August 22 to my channel. So basically, it's not bad. I'm gonna have a new room setup. It's gonna be way better. I'm gonna get a webcam, and I'm gonna create a new channel. So I'm gonna create a IRL channel. So if you want to join my streams where I just play games and chill, then that channel will be up in a few more days. So yeah, that's a surprise.
Up a group of kids in black hoodies, yanking the hoods back.
What's
and
up,
they were all
Agua? Shout out to
teenagers. That's
Sophia.
when I finally turned to look at the guy in my back seat and gasped. He was a teenager too, shaking, tears streaking his face. "Did you bomb the parking garage?" I
What?
yelled.
Bro's insane. What? I don't even know
It
what's
wasn't
happening.
a bomb, he sobbed. It was fireworks. My
Oh, fireworks?
friends brought them to
That's
the top
still
floor
bad.
and one hit a car. I panicked and jumped in the first car I saw. That's when it hit me. I'd been sitting there with my music up, and if he hadn't screamed at me to drive, I'd have burned alive in that garage.
That's a year
I was
boy.
in a mall park. My
It's
little brother
insane.
creeped toward my bedroom carrying a live hornet's nest while wearing a full hazmat suit. I gasped because I knew he was trying to get revenge on me for yanking out his PS5 right before he
Why
got
did bro yank out the PS5? Are we serious? August 12, 2036, the heat death of the universe. What? Bro, what are you on about?
his first ever victory royale. But this was way too far, and I needed to stop him before he tried to murder me with hornets. I tiptoed after him, and he slipped inside,
jazz.
slid my closet door wide open, and set the nest on the shelf with a huge grin on his face.
Why did bro put a, like, bug nest in there,
He
bro?
stepped
A
back and
wasp
let out this
nest.
muffled villain giggle
Without
behind the
hiding it.
visor, like thinking about murdering me made him the happiest man in the world. I walked up
Bro's crazy, chat. He's crazy for that.
and put one hand on my
insane.
bedroom door, and he froze like a deer in headlights. I shut the door on him and his nest and held down on the handle so he couldn't escape. He pounded on the door. "Let me out! The suit won't protect me forever." I leaned
That's his fault. Like, bro,
in
what?
close. "I'll let you out if you agree that the prank war is over, and carry that nest
The prank war. Why are they doing a prank war? What?
back to its tree where it came from." The buzzing got louder, and when I looked through the peephole, I saw a hornet land right on
It
his
was a
visor,
star.
and his eyes went huge behind the plastic. "Okay, truce. The war's over. Let me out. Let me out." I breathed a sigh of relief and levered down the handle, and he stumbled out and immediately shut the door behind him with his rubber gloves still on. He held out his arm.
Okay, why does bro have a whole suit on though? Like, where did he get that from? Who's gonna use that? Like, how did he just get that? Shout out to Amnes.
Dude, come here and shake my hand. I walked towards him, and he stepped on my laces and tripped me up. I had my fingers crossed. War ain't over. I instantly put my hand on the handle and locked eyes with him. So were mine. I quickly pushed him back into the room and shut the door.
Oh, nah.
Just as the nest rolled off the shelf and split open on the floor, the last thing I saw was one hornet landing on his zipper and pulling it down. My little
Oh, nah, bruh.
I was typing on my school laptop when
It's
the
over.
webcam light started blinking, even though the camera was turned off. I immediately covered it with my hand and thought back to
Somebody's watching behind the screen. Chat, you want to know who I think is watching the screen, bro? The back rooms. Yeah, bro. Guys, subscribe if you want to shout out, and feel free to send gifts, like
when
Laugh
the
and
principal had
Discos.
handed these out at school. These laptops are completely free. Make sure to take them home.
Okay, that's sus. Why would you take a laptop for free? Like, what? That's kind
at the
of...
lens, and it blinked faster. I slid my chair back like
That's
the thing
Nicole.
might bite me because someone had been watching me. But I rolled right back in and stared dead into the camera. Whoever you are, I'm catching you red-handed.
Imagine that's like the school principal, bro. Imagine the school principal is watching over every student's screen. Like a Discord call. Like that's insane.
over the lens and took it to school
That'd
the
be
next
insane.
morning. But the principal pulled me out of class at lunch and took me to his office. I know you've been damaging school property. He snatched my laptop and jabbed at the tape, but I jabbed back and asked, how did you know the tape was there? His face went red as he pushed me back.
Nah.
That's none of your business.
How did bro know?
Don't damage school property from now on.
Look at the walls. Chat. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but the walls.
He
bro,
pulled
what?
the tape off and shoved the laptop back to me before kicking me out. But I was smiling
What the
ear
hell?
to ear. That night, I
Shout out to Slippy. Thank you for the happy poop.
sat in my bed and made sure the light was blinking again. Then I pretended to not notice the camera and said out loud, I have proof that the principal is spying on us. It's hidden in my
Yo, what's up, Eternal Andrew?
drawer, but I'll hand it over to the police tomorrow. Then I closed my laptop, called the cops for real, and told them a man was breaking into my house. A few minutes later, my window slid open. I was lying on the bed.
Yeah, you need to call the police either way. Thank you for the treat
and
gift.
kept my breathing
Just to
slow
be safe,
as
bro.
footsteps crossed my carpet. When I cracked an eye open, the principal was
What the heck? Yo, why is the
digging through my drawer. His flashlight
Why
swung
is the
straight onto my
principal there?
face, and my entire
Give her the
body
tree gift
locked
again.
up. I strangled my sheets as he stepped toward my bed, but that's when red and blue lights flooded my window. And
W.
2 cops burst in through the door. They slammed him into my floor, and my fingers
it was the school principal the whole time. What's up, Nicholas? What's up, Robert? Welcome to the stream, guys. Subscribe right now if you want to shout out, and feel free to send big gifts or any type of gifts. If you want me to say your name and say W's, like you could send a laughing disco.
finally let go of the sheets. He got cuffed, screaming, "Those are my laptops. I have a right to use those cameras."
What do you mean? I mean, chat. All schools have free laptops that you can use and take home. So, well, most schools, but it's still kind of sus. Like, imagine everybody's watching you through the camera. They were the laughing disco, Dylan. W. Dylan with the laughing disco, and thank you for the laughing disco, Jackson show. W. Jackson show with the laughing disco. Why was the principal even spying? I don't know.
Sat up and waved at him from point blank.
That's
I promised
weird.
I'd catch you red-handed, and that's exactly what I did. I was typing on
W. Yo, oh my gosh. Thank you for the $2, Jolly Guy. W. Jolly Guy with the $2. And W. Christy, I'm Jax. He. Wyag and Nick with the laughing discos. Thank you all so much for the laughing discos. I did not expect that much. Thank you.
I was
W.
typing- I
W,
watched
bro.
Spider-Man for the first time and was convinced I could climb walls. I ran past my cat and straight to my pet spider's tank.
You were
and
the
stuck
$2
my hand in
too.
it, waiting for it to bite me. I was convinced
W.
it bit me and smiled because that's exactly
Thank you
what
guys
I
for the
needed.
gifts,
I
though.
begged my mom to buy me a Spider-Man suit,
You're
so
the
I
idiot.
went into my closet and put it on. I pressed my hands flat against my bedroom wall. It didn't
Bro is not Spider-Man. What are we doing? What?
stick, but I wasn't worried. I was positive my powers
Also, what kind of suit is that? They were 6'7". Not gonna lie, what kind
were
of
going
suit
to
is
kick
that?
in soon. I waited
That is not like a normal Spider-Man suit, bro. They were the flower. That's
a
like...
minute. Then I opened my bedroom window and climbed out onto the roof. My hands gripped the shingles and I gasped. They were sticking. My powers kicked
Oh,
in.
nah.
Started
Bro,
crawling
what?
across the roof on all fours
You're
like
lying.
Spider-Man. But then I heard
Chat, be honest. If you were Spider-Man for like a day, what would you do? I'm gonna be honest. I would just swing around buildings. You know, just chill. Maybe rob a place. Nah, I'm joking.
meowing from the tree next to my house. It was my cat.
What
She was
would you
stuck
guys
on
do?
one of the highest branches. This was my first mission. I jumped from the roof onto the tree and started climbing. Branch by branch, I got higher. The cat was right there, so I grabbed
Oh,
it
bro,
with
saving a cat.
one
That's
arm.
tough.
I felt like a hero. Then I heard my
Watch, bro, just fall.
mom scream from below. "What are you doing in that tree?" I yelled back. "Mom, my spider bit."
Thank you for the $2, Jolly Guy. You love my vids? Thank you, Jolly Guy. And thank you for the 14 stars, W Pikachu. But W Jolly Guy with the 2. Thank you for loving my
Me.
videos.
I'm Spider-Man
W.
now. My mom shook her head. "Get down before you hurt yourself." But when I looked down, I felt pee come out. I was way higher
What?
than I thought, and if I fell, I would take serious damage.
I mean-
tried to climb down, but
Can't you use your webs, bro? Like, what?
realized I couldn't climb down and hold the cat at the same time. Then a branch under my foot cracked. I
He's
hugged
cooked.
the tree with one arm
He's
and
cooked.
the cat with the other. The branch snapped. I hit every branch
He's
on
dead.
the way down and landed directly on my left arm.
Oh.
I heard it crack and it bent the
Retreat.
wrong way. I was screaming and crying in my Spider-Man
Yeah, no more Spider-Man. They were the flower. How did he, like,
suit, but the
climb,
cat
though?
landed on my chest without a scratch, and she started purring on me. Mission complete. I was Spider-Man. When I came back from the hospital, my mom
Wait, chat, can it, if a cat, let's say a cat was on a tree, can it just go down and land perfectly without any damage? I don't understand. Why?
told me she released my pet spider
tree
in the
gift.
wild. She pointed at my
Like
suit
what?
in the closet. I'm returning that suit too. Turns out I wasn't Spider-Man. I just had a really strong grip. I watched Spider-Man for the first. I went to bed and kissed my
Strong
wife like always. But when I closed my eyes, I
That's
woke
a
up
Josh.
in a desert I didn't recognize. My
A
head
desert. Well, okay, why is bro's bed in a middle, in the middle of a desert? Like,
pounded,
bro, what?
and when I looked around, I saw nothing but sand in every direction. I pushed myself up and walked for hours, but that's when my hand hit
Bro did not walk for hours. What do you mean? He just walked 3 steps. What are we doing? What?
something plastic. A magic 8-ball with a sticker on the side that read, "The ball
A
of
magic
lies."
8-ball?
I'm the ball of truth.
The 8-ball suddenly spoke. I grabbed my head and asked desperately.
I
"How
mean, chat, I would use the 8-ball. Like, if I see anything, obviously I'm gonna use it.
do I get home?"
Walk to
Even
the
if
hill on
it's
your right.
fishy.
I looked at the 2 sandy hills on either side of me. Then I looked at the sticker, "The ball of lies," and went left. The hill on my right literally exploded.
What? Yo, what? What is happening? Thank you for the hiding gift.
Then I saw 2 roads. The ball told me.
Take the left one.
I took the right one, and suddenly an avalanche started on the left road.
Do not get in this man's car.
The ball spoke. Right then, a car pulled up, and a man offered me a ride home. I immediately said yes.
I mean, chat, would you trust that if you were stranded in the desert? I mean, I would take anything, bro.
I love your vid.
Shout out to the gamer Evelyn.
Crying with relief. We
I would
drove for
take that.
13 hours until we finally reached my address. I threw the door open and my wife hugged me in tears. "Where were you? I've been waiting for you all alone for days." Suddenly, the 8-ball spoke from my pocket.
She was indeed waiting all alone. No other men kept her company.
I went to bed and kissed my wife.
Wait, what?
I watched Spider-Man. I went to bed. My classmate Derek handed me a Dorito and grinned. "I know you can't eat this." I shrugged.
it's a
"What do you mean
Spider-Man."
I can't eat a Dorito?" I threw the whole thing in my mouth, but the second I crunched down my eye,
Oh! Chat, that is not a Dorito. That's the spicy stuff, bro. He's actually cooked.
went wide.
Hold
"It's
up,
the
I'll be right
one-chip
back,
challenge."
chat.
He laughed and pulled out his phone because my face was already turning red. Sweat poured down my face as my mouth and stomach instantly screamed in pain. I reached for Derek's milk carton, but he pulled it away, shoving his camera in my face. I got up and sprinted behind the lunch lady's counter, dropping to my knees and going through the fridge looking for milk. I opened the gallon carton and started drinking, not even caring 300 kids were screaming, "Milk boy," as the white liquid flowed down my face into my shirt. But then I felt it. My insides twisted, and the school bathroom stall
Alright,
was
we're
calling
back.
my name. I went
Thank you for the $1. My bad if I missed it. Thank you for the $1, Jacqueline. W.
to
Jacqueline.
sprint out, but suddenly the principal blocked my path. He ripped the milk carton from me. "You're getting detention. I'm gonna crap myself." I screamed and ran straight into the bathroom, where I sat for 45 minutes hyperventilating in the stall. But Derek was right outside, sticking his hand underneath the stall with his phone on so he could record me. As I sat there, making the school bathroom unusable and feeling humiliated, I realized what I had to do. I walked into the cafeteria next day, hearing "Milk boy" around me,
Shout out
but
to
I simply
Jay's
sat
Place.
down and pulled out my my lunch. A tray of nachos, filled with one chip challenge chips, drizzled in Carolina Reaper sauce, jalapenos,
Carolina Reaper sauce?
and ghost pepper extract. From the outside, it looked like Derek's favorite, when in reality, it was the culmination of all of mankind's mistakes. Derek walked over the second he saw me. What's up, milk boy? How's the one chip challenge?
Oh,
but then
nah.
my plate caught his eye.
Chat, is he cooked? Leave the hiding gift.
Some. His sausage fingers lunged for the nachos, and he shoveled handfuls into his mouth.
Oh, he's
I watched
cooked.
grinning
That
as he ate
guy's
10
cooked.
one-chip challenge chips with everything else on top. What are you laughing at? He slammed the table.
It's spicy chips, bro. What do you mean? That's
Face
a Johnny.
dropped midway. Oh my god! He instantly read, flailing his arms. It burns! But his fingers accidentally brushed his eyes. Ah! Derek's legs started shaking. I can't
Chat, let's
see.
hit
I need milk.
171K. Come on, chat. Let's do it.
Laughed because I'd done the
Subscribe
math.
right now if
What
you want
Derek
shout
had
out.
eaten was 23 times worse than what I did. He ran towards the lunch ladies with his eyes closed, panting and not knowing where he was. He slammed straight into the glass counter, falling with an earthquake-like thud. Derek lay there yelling, "Ah!" as I calmly walked over, my phone in my hand. Who's the milk boy now? My classmate Derek handed me a Dorito. I came home through the front doors, excited to
crazy.
spend the evening with my wife.
Shout out to Elias.
But she backed into a corner the
So,
second she
Lemuel.
saw me.
Leave her the $2 Savage Marshmallow. W Savage Marshmallow with the 2. And thank you for subbing Savage Marshmallow. Shout out to you, bro.
Get away from me. I
Misa.
don't know you. She threw a plate directly at my head,
W.
and it smashed on the wall behind me.
Oh,
the shards
nah.
bounced and cut my cheek as she
Oh.
screamed, "Tell me what you did to my husband." My hand shot to my face as I struggled to
What is
understand
what is she talking about? Shout out to Diamond.
what she just said. "I am your husband. We've been married for 11
Yeah.
years." Liar. She grabbed the golf club off the couch
Oh,
and
nah.
raised it
She's going crazy, chat.
above her head. "I know you
She's
took him.
going
Where is
crazy.
he?" She started smashing counters, cracking the
cooked.
table we'd had dinner on just yesterday. "Please tell me what you did to him." I watched her sob and
She's
thought
cooked.
she was having
It's
a breakdown.
over, chat.
So I pulled out
Oh,
my
thank
phone
you
to
for 171K. I'm a bit late, but thank you guys. W.
dial 911,
At the
but she
Abner.
immediately roared, "No, you're not kidnapping me too." She bolted out the back doors and scaled the fence, running
Shout out
away
to
from me into
Moonlight.
the woods. I immediately dropped my phone and ran after her, my brain scrambling to think of why my wife thought I had kidnapped myself. I
Yeah,
caught her
what?
at the tree line and wrapped my arms around her. She thrashed and bit my forearm,
Oh,
still
nah.
screaming for me to
Okay,
get
that's kind of making it worse. Now it looks like you're the bad person, you know? Shout out to
her
Shannon.
husband back. Paramedics traced the open call and reached us a few minutes later. At the hospital, a doctor sedated her, then pulled me aside and explained my wife had developed Capgras syndrome. It's
What
where
is
the
that?
brain becomes convinced the people you love have been replaced by clones out to harm you. There's no cure, and your wife is an extreme case, so we're moving her to a psych ward. I dropped to my knees, and the next day
Oh,
walked up to
nah.
the window
Leave
of
the
her
hiding
room.
gift.
She started banging the glass the second she saw me and begging me to bring her
What?
husband back, but I just stood helplessly on the other side, my fists clenched as tears rolled down my face.
Leave her the tree gift.
Never have her back.
Imagine that happening. That would be insane.
I was showing the new girl Melody
Very
how to
insane.
work the ticket register when my coworker Ben leaned over her shoulder. "Sweetheart, you might
Like,
want to ask to be
honestly,
trained
chat.
by someone who isn't an idiot." Melody's eyes darted between us, like she wasn't sure if this was a joke,
Give her
and
the
I
star.
gave her a small smile. "It's okay, you're doing great."
The
She
tree
waited
gift.
until he walked off before asking, "Are you seriously okay with him talking to you like that?" I just shrugged. I just ignore it. I'd stood up for myself once before and gotten written up for creating a hostile work environment, so I'd learned to keep my mouth shut a long time ago. This was just the usual around here, so I didn't expect today to be any different. An hour later, I was walking Melody through the weekly movie schedule.
Shout
when
out to
Ben
Abner.
launched a handful of popcorn at the back of my head from across the concession stand. Kernels rained down onto the counter and stuck in my hair. Oopsie, my hand slipped. Our coworker Jacob laughed so hard he cried. I sighed and started picking them out one by one, because getting mad had never once gotten me anywhere here. Later, when I was
Imagine
mopping
bro gets mad.
the lobby floor between
over.
showings, a line of customers already forming for the next movie, Jacob walked by and tipped his soda straight onto the section I'd just finished.
Oh,
Oops.
nah, that's insane. Okay, that's actually
Ben
bad.
doubled over, slapping the counter. A few customers in line started
It's
staring,
actually
and my face went
crazy.
hot with embarrassment. But there was nothing I could do about it
Why-
in front of all of them, so I just
why
mopped
would-
the same spot again. Melody's hands curled into fists at her sides, but
Give
she
her the
didn't say a
W.
word. She waited
Chat,
until
why would
we
that?
were alone restocking the popcorn machine.
Johnson.
"Why don't you report them to HR?" I shook my head. I did, twice. Turns out
Twice?
the HR
Damn.
rep and Jacob went to the same college. Melody didn't say anything, just kept refilling the machine, her jaw as tight as mine. That afternoon,
You're the
front
treat gift.
door chimed
Appreciate
and the
it.
owner
Shout out
walked
to
in.
Jimmy Bob.
Melody's whole face lit up, and I had no idea why some random customer would make her look like that. "Hi, Dad. I'm glad you're here because we
Oh, that's the
have
dad.
some things to talk."
Give her the laughing disco. W
I
Ethan
got-
with
I-
the laughing disco. And I just skipped the store. I'm gonna crash.
The popcorn machine. "Why don't you report them to HR?"
W. Ethan with the laughing disco. Thank you, Ethan.
would make her look like that. Hi,
W,
Dad.
Ethan.
I'm glad you're here because we have some things to talk about. My stomach dropped. The girl I'd spent
Thank you for the laughing disco, Becky. W, Becky with the laughing disco. And thank you for the dollar, Richard. W, Richard and Becky. How do you turn on gifts? How do you turn on gifts? You have to get monetization. I don't think you have it, bro. You gotta do a lot. It's not gonna be like a step-by-step process. It's gonna take like a few months. Thank you for the laughing disco, Ethan. W, Ethan with the laughing disco. Thank you, Ethan.
spent the entire day training. The one who just watched Ben and Jacob humiliate me over and over was the owner's daughter, and she'd seen every second of it. She walked him through exactly what she'd seen all day, and he turned to Ben and Jacob. You're both done. Grab your things. I felt months of tension leave my shoulders all at once. He turned to me next, already reaching out his hand. Thank you for training my daughter right through all of that. How does assistant manager sound? I was showing the new girl.
Tough. Thank you for the laughing disco, Gerardo. W, Gerardo with the laughing disco. Thank you, Gerardo. W.
Got an emergency call that a robbery was in progress, so I rushed over to the store, my hands on my holster. The owner immediately pointed at the homeless man sitting on the floor in the corner of his store.
Wait, why did I? No. If you thought I said W because of the homeless guy, no. It's because of the laughing disco.
That filthy
My
beggar
bad.
was robbing me, he spat. Arrest him. I
Where's
walked towards
Simon?
the man and noticed the scrunched up bouquet of flowers in his lap. I asked him if he'd really
Where's
been
Simon?
stealing, and he looked up. It's my wife's birthday. She's homeless out here with me, and I had no money to get her flowers.
Bro, they were the laughing disco, Gerardo. W, Gerardo with the laughing disco. Thank you, bro. But Chad, if there's like a homeless guy, if I was the owner of this store, I would just let him take the flowers.
My chest tightened
Like,
because
bro.
his entire face was bruised, but the owner was already leaning over my shoulder.
Okay,
He
that's
reached down and
crazy. It's just like $2. Or no, not $2. A bit higher. They were the flower, Ethan. It's $2 for like some flowers or higher. They were the laughing disco, Gerardo. W, Gerardo with the laughing disco. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but thank you, bro. W.
snatched the flowers out of the man's lap. Here's what I think of your wife. He spat on the bouquet and dropped it onto
Oh,
the floor. I
that's
was shocked,
kinda
but the homeless
crazy.
man instantly pushed himself up to
The
his
W.
feet. Don't you ever talk about my wife. The owner spun to me instantly, pointing. See? He's aggressive. He just threatened me. Arrest him right now.
Nah, it's the Chad. You know Will Smith. Bro?
I realized the situation was
That's a Selena
escalating,
fan.
so I put a hand up and told everyone to calm down.
You're
But
right,
the owner
nerves.
was starting to get on my nerves. I asked the man how he got the bruises on his face, and the owner smirked. That was me. I made sure to really
Okay, that's that. Now he's gonna get arrested. Like, bro, what? You were the sub. Shout out to Xbox player.
hit
He's
hard
being
when
the
I saw
bad
this
guy.
piece of filth stealing. He said it proudly, and because I was homeless once, I'd reached my limit. So you assaulted him. That's a crime, and you're under arrest. His face
Yeah.
dropped
Like,
as
are
I
we
reached for my
serious?
cuffs. He shoved me back hard. You're
Oh,
not
nah.
arresting me. Arrest him and his wife for existing around me. But I closed the gap
He's
and grabbed his
crashing out.
wrist. I'll charge you for assault of an officer too if you're not careful. The homeless man
Thank you for the treat gift. Appreciate it.
put his hand on my shoulder. Nobody's ever taken my side before. I nodded
gold
and
coin.
walked the owner out while he cursed at us. But as I shoved him into my cruiser, I saw the homeless man handing the flowers to his wife on the corner.
W. Not gonna lie, they do not look homeless. Like, she has some
And
clothes.
beside
bro.
them, there was a homeless little girl, mouthing,
How would? All right. I don't get it.
"Happy birthday, Mommy."
Why did I
My
learn?
heart
They were hiding
genuinely
it.
shattered, so I
the
decided to go
treat
buy them a
gift.
birthday cake out of the owner's wallet. He watched helplessly, red in the face as I handed
I don't know, Mr. Chill AC, but you
Did it
can't
to
turn on gifts. Have to search it up. But stop spamming, bro.
them. I got an emergency call that the class
Give it a
clown
W.
tried to hypnotize the meanest teacher in school. You're getting very sleepy. Mrs. Vaughn snatched the pendulum mid-swing. One more word, and you're suspended. My eyes widened, because if he made another
Oh, nah. Why is he trying to possess her? What the hell? Thank you for the stay hydrated. W the abstraction with the stay hydrated. Thank you, the abstraction. W the abstraction. Thank you.
teacher
W the abstraction with the stay hydrated. Once again, shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much.
it too, he'd probably get
Oh, wait.
expelled. But Dante turned to the class like he didn't even care. Should I tell her what happened yesterday when I hypnotized her? I had no idea what he was talking about, but kids all around me started nodding, and Mrs. Vaughn put her hands on her hips. What are you talking about? Dante smirked. You knelt down
It
and
was a
swore
treat.
loyalty to me in front of everybody. You said I was a king. I pinched myself to stop myself from laughing, and I realized none of this ever happened. The whole class was just
Yeah, that never really happened. Like, what are we saying? You're hiding it.
backing up his lie to break her. But then she pointed straight at me because I was the only kid she actually trusted. Tell them the truth. My heart started pounding with adrenaline because if I lied, I'd get in trouble
You're
with
hiding it. Trevor.
Dante, but if I told the truth, the whole class would hate me. You bowed down to him, miss. You told him you'd do anything for him. Her face went red, but
Give her the high five, the abstraction. W the abstraction with the high five. Thank you, bro. W.
before she could scream at me, Dante
Thank
took
you
out his
so
phone.
much.
I have proof. He walked to the front of the class, took the black wire connected to the projector, and
Okay,
plugged
why did his accent just change, chat?
it into his phone. On the big screen, we watched as Mrs.
What?
Vaughn got on her knees and actually bowed down to Dante. You're my king, my lord. I would do anything for you. I was so shocked I couldn't
Thank you
even
for the high five, Phyllis Page. W Phyllis Page with the high five. Thank you, bro.
breathe, because I hadn't expected him to make an AI video just to annoy Mrs. Vaughn. The entire class was banging on their desks, laughing. Mrs. Vaughn instantly grabbed the wall phone to call the principal. My entire body tensed up because I thought we were all going to be suspended. And when the principal walked in, Mrs. Vaughn pointed a shaking hand at the projector. Look what Dante made. He's destroying my reputation with lies. I held my breath,
What?
but the principal
Give her
took
the
one
treat
look at
gift.
Dante
Appreciate it.
and went pale. He leaned into her ear to whisper, and the room was so quiet, we heard every word. I fought him last year
Okay, bro's accent keeps changing. This is actually gonna make me crash out, chat. Like, bro, what?
about this, and the board
going
didn't
on?
do anything because they couldn't prove the
Give
video
her the
was
live
fake.
disco.
Just say you remember.
W Mr. Exent with the live disco. Thank you, Mr. Exent. Give her the 6-7. Appreciate it.
It's easier, I gasped, because even the principal couldn't save her, because Dante had gotten to him too. Mrs. Vaughn looked around, and Dante snapped his fingers. And you're awake from my hypnotic spell. She closed her eyes and said it through her teeth. Welcome back, my
Give her the
lord.
treat gift.
The class clown. I was in class making my robotic arm clench a fist just by thinking about it, when the biggest bully
Wait, bro has a robotic arm? That's
in
kind
school
of sick.
snatched it off and
Oh, what? They were hiding it. They were the gold coin.
held
That's
it out of
messed up.
reach. Cool toy. It's mine now. He looked at
Give her the live disco, Chunk Chunky. W Chunk Chunky with the live disco. Thank you, Chunk Chunky.
both my empty sleeves
They were the Sunday Trevor. W Trevor with the Sunday.
and smirked. What are you gonna do? Grab it with your nubs, loser. I stood up, shoved him until he dropped it.
Yeah,
and
I know
clipped it
that,
back into
Dylan.
place. It's
I can't do anything. They were the 6. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought.
not a toy.
Never mind.
This is my arm. The recess bell rang, and his face twisted with anger. We'll finish
Oh,
this
bully.
at recess. My stomach dropped, because I knew he meant it, but I wasn't letting him take it. I walked into recess with my fist clenched, ready for him. He came straight at me, ripped my arm off my shoulder,
nah.
and when I reached for it with my nub, he slapped me with my own arm and shoved me into the dirt. You don't deserve this arm like I do. The whole playground laughed. He slid my arm onto
That's
his
crazy,
own and held it up.
chat.
This is mine now. Nobody
That's
can beat
actually
me. And for the first
insane.
time, I let his words get to me and felt defeated. But then he turned on the little kids, chasing them and grabbing them by the collar with my hand while they cried. When one boy tripped, the
That's
bully stood
insane.
over him and raised my fist to hit him. So I got up and shoved him with my nubs. That's not yours. Leave him alone. The playground went silent because I had no hands and no way to fight him. He let
I
the
mean, yeah, how are you gonna fight him? Wait, what?
boy go, grabbed my collar, and pulled his fist back. Everyone waited for me to get destroyed,
They were
but I
hiding
just
it.
smiled because he had no idea what he was holding. He swung my
I mean, bro can use his legs. They were a finger heart. W, some random guy with a finger heart. Thank you, some random guy.
arm to
W.
punch me, but it yanked backward and stopped. He stared at it, confused. Why'd it do that? Obey me, punch him. But I smiled harder because I control my arm with my
Oh, he controls
I
it.
clenched-
He's cooked. It's over.
my nub, and my fist flew back and cracked him in his own
Oh.
nose. Then I made him slap himself, shove himself into the dirt, and grab his own collar. Exactly what he did to me. The whole playground
Oh,
erupted.
nah.
The little kids he'd terrorized laughing the loudest. Stop! You belong to me! He cried, punching
Yo, imagine having that. You could just put it on their arm and then, like, do whatever. Like, actually, bro. Like, if you're in a
my
fight.
arm as hard as he could to knock it
That
off.
would be
but
cool.
it's metal, so he just shattered the bones in his own hand
Oh,
and
nah.
dropped to his knees, screaming. I calmly picked my arm up and clicked it back on. You just got rocked by a kid with no hands, loser. I was in class making my
That's
robotic arm.
crazy.
The class clown tried
They were the live. Let's go, AJ
I was in
and
class.
Kara. W, AJ and Kara with the live discos. Thank you, AJ and Kara. W. Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out.
My dad shook me awake at 4 a.m. on a school night, frantically telling me to get out of bed and come to the living room right now. I shot up still half asleep, but Dad was already bolting downstairs. I followed him, my heart pounding because this felt wrong. Dad sat me in a chair and pulled me to the TV. Mortal Kombat was
Mortal
loaded up.
Kombat.
I finally unlocked all the characters, son. I really want to play with you using them. He tossed me a controller
the
with the
end.
widest grin and sat next to me, but I groaned because he'd made me
What?
believe something was
That's a
wrong. I
keyboard
have school
color.
tomorrow, Dad. I need need to sleep. I put the controller down and stood up, but then he put his hand on my shoulder. You're not going to school, kid. You're playing Mortal Kombat.
A W. Yo, imagine having... Yo, that's sick. That's actually sick. Shout to Mafia Kingdom.
With me. My face lit up,
That would
and
be
before I could respond, Dad pulled
insanely
2
cool.
pizza boxes and lemonade from behind the couch.
That's even
so what
crazier.
do you say?
Yo,
School
W.
or fun with your dad?
That's
I
a Jimmy.
instantly plopped down and grabbed my
They were
controller
the
while he
gold
loaded
coin.
up the game, smiling. I used every character he unlocked, and when the sun came up and the school bus drove by our house, me and Dad were still playing. The only danger around was having
Imagine the amount of guilt, bro. Just seeing the bus go by. Shout to Kohan.
too much fun. My dad
Who
shook.
cares, though?
My dad stood over my bed. You can skip school today if you come to work with me instead. 5-year-old me instantly jumped out of bed, even though I had no idea what my dad's job was. Yes, yes, yes. He passed me a ski mask, and I
Guys, like up the stream and subscribe if you want. Shout out. Thank you for the treat gift,
followed
Alice.
him to the car with no idea what to expect.
Not the
We
happy
drove
gas.
past houses, and I pointed at the boarded-up windows. Where are we going, Daddy? He spoke through gritted teeth. Don't ask me any more questions, son. Beads of sweat came down
Oh, nah. He's cooked.
my face, but I nodded because I didn't want my dad to be mad at me. He parked behind a house with cages on the windows, and when we got out, he pulled a huge black duffel bag out of the trunk. He hung the strap
Oh, they're robbing.
over my
Yo,
shoulder.
what?
I need you to knock and give this to them, son. I can't be seen here. This job's better for you anyway. My knees were trembling, and I didn't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
Before
not gonna lie, bro. Looks like chat. Who's watched Despicable Me 3? At the end of the movie, there's like the two Gru and his brother. They have to get through they gotta get the diamond thing, and they have this mask on.
could say anything.
That
My
exact mask
dad
on.
was already watching
If
from
you guys know what I'm talking
behind the
about.
corner, so I dragged the duffel bag up the stairs. When I knocked, the biggest man I'd ever seen opened the door.
Oh, nah.
I waved. My daddy has this delivery for you. He's around the corner. He unzipped the bag without a word and stared inside. Is that it? My heart started pounding with adrenaline because he was staring at me with daggers in his eyes. He immediately grabbed his phone to dial 911, and I felt my dad's hand closed around my arm. Run, buddy, as fast as you can. Now, my dad was sprinting down the block, so I followed him while my ankles ached. Why are we running,
That's
Daddy?
crazy.
He didn't answer, and the sirens behind us kept getting
Oh,
louder.
nah.
Ahead was an alley, skinny and dark. He stopped running. He turned around and ran towards me. I'm sorry, son. I love you. I want you to remember that grown-ups sometimes do bad things, but it's never their children's fault. I wanted to ask what he meant, but he ran down the alley as the
nah.
cop cars pulled up. An officer held me tight with tears in his
W?
eyes. You shouldn't have had to go through that.
Leave
I'm
the
sorry,
GG
but I
easy.
just wanted to know where my daddy was. Dante shoved me into the dirt after school and told me to get up so he could do it again. Kids came running
What?
from every direction while he stood over me, cracking his knuckles one at a time, and I scrambled backwards until my shoulders hit the flagpole. I had nowhere left to go, so I closed my eyes and braced for 6
Okay, you could have just leaved. Like, bro,
foot
what?
6 of pure muscle to snap
Are
me
we
in half.
serious?
But instead of ending it, he yanked me up by the collar. I told you not to talk to her. She's mine. He threw me back in the dirt and turned to dust his hands off for the crowd. Shoulda kept your head down watching your stupid kung fu movies, you little geek. The whole circle
out to
laughed
Kaden.
with him, and something in me
L bully, bro. Are we serious?
snapped, because all of this was over one conversation with a girl at lunch. I'd never thrown a punch in my life, but I spat out the dirt, pulled myself up that flagpole, and said the words that almost got me killed. I'll talk to whoever I want. The laughing stopped dead, and Dante
It might be over,
turned
chat.
around slower than I'd ever seen him move. Say that again. He ripped his backpack off and threw it into the crowd, cracking his neck while
Oh,
every foam
nah.
came out, and I did the math.
Shout out to
Dante hadn't
Shadow
lost a
Squad.
fight in 2 years, and every kid
Give
who
her the
tried
treat
him
gift.
made
Guys, if you want me to say your name and say W's for you and give you a shout out, then feel free to send a gift like Laughing Disco. Alright.
the same mistake.
You can also subscribe if you want a shout out, but if you want me to say W's for your name, then
They swung first.
Feel free.
My legs were
Send
shaking
a
so
gift.
bad that the flagpole was the only thing holding me up. But if those stupid kung fu movies taught me anything,
W,
it was
I'm a bad YouTuber with a treat gift. They were the Happy Poop Chunky. W Chunky. They were the hiding of Trevor. They were the hiding of
that you
GTVW.
can't fight fire with fire, so I had to be like water. I wasn't going to swing. I was going to let Dante beat Dante. I dropped my head
What? Thank you for the Sunday, Teals VR. W Teals VR with the Sunday. Thank you.
like he told me to, and that's when I saw it. His right shoelace was untied, dragging in the dirt.
Oh, he could just trip him. Like what? They were live. Let's go, Astrobot. W Astrobot with the live. Let's go. Thank you, Astrobot. W.
And he had no clue. I needed him too mad to look down, so I lifted my head, leaned around him, and blew the girl from lunch a kiss. She giggled
Give
into
the
her
tree
hand,
gifts.
and Dante's fists curled so tight his
Oh,
knuckles
nah.
cracked. Come on then, you waiting for a bell? I shook an invisible bell. Ding ding. He came at me like a bull out of a chute, and I planted my feet, because if I was
bro's
wrong
gonna
about
trip
that
him.
shoelace, I was about to get folded in half. His left foot came down right on that loose
I mean, it's worth it. They were 6'7", Trevor.
lace, and his next step never landed. 6'6" of pure muscle pitched forward, and all
Bro didn't even have to do anything.
I
Bro.
did was take one step to the side. His head
He
hit
did-
the flagpole
oh.
so hard the rope clanged, and he dropped face first into the dirt
R.I.P.
like
bro.
a sack of flour, and the circle went silent. I never even touched
That,
him.
yeah.
Dante, the
Like,
kid
what?
who hadn't lost a fight in 2 years, got knocked out by Dante. The place exploded,
What?
and every phone that came out for my beatdown caught his instead. The girl pushed through the crowd, stepped over him, and took my arm. We got 3 steps before I stopped and bent down to make sure my
Relax.
laces were tied. I double knotted
Yeah, you don't want to trip, bro.
them just in case. Dante shoved me into the dirt after school. I just marked 3,039 days on the wall of
3,039 days. Holy, shout out to
the
Noah.
group home when a couple came in and actually made eye contact with me. The husband was wearing Lilo and Stitch
Think of the
shorts,
hiding
and I
place.
pointed at them. That's my favorite movie. Ohana means nobody gets left behind. The wife giggled and hugged me. I
What?
almost cried because it was the first time anyone had held me in years. She whispered, "We'll be coming back for you." When she left, my social worker squeezed my shoulder. "Don't get your hopes up. You're almost 12. Couples usually want someone younger," but I clenched my fists because I needed him to be wrong. A week later, they came back with a
Shout out to Molly, huh?
jumbo-sized Lilo and Stitch. I jumped
Oh my
up
gosh.
because it was the
Why would you need that? Not gonna lie, chat. Why would you need that?
first time anyone had given me a
Out
gift
of everything else, you could have gotten a PC,
before.
anything
Thank
else.
you, miss.
But
Thank
you
you,
got
sir.
that.
The man smiled. Call us mom and dad.
Provided
The
it.
woman nodded. We'll be signing the documents for adoption over the
With
next few
Abdul.
weeks. Soon we'll be a family. When I went to sleep that night, I dreamt about all of us eating dinner at the kitchen table together.
W.
Maybe with a dog, eating food that was actually fresh. But when visitation time came a week later, they never showed up. I blinked back
Oh.
my tears and tried to tell myself that something came up, but the
Bro,
social
what?
worker immediately walked
That's messed
over
up.
to me. Been working this job for 10 years, kid. Seen this 1,000 times. Better to accept that parents either want to adopt babies or have children. That's it. I crumpled the
That's
Lilo and
messed
Stitch
up.
card I'd made for them while tears stung my eyes. Weeks passed, and I started stealing and
Weeks?
acting like the other kids.
My goodness. They were alive. Let's go, Becky. W. Becky with the live. Let's go. Thank you, Becky.
In the group home.
W.
I took
Becky.
from people's bags when they weren't looking. I walked around with a black hoodie and stopped smiling. When I blew out the candle alone on my 12th birthday, I didn't wish
Thank you for the $2, Jolly Guy.
IDCK.
Welcome back, Jolly Guy. Thank you for the Jolly Guy. W. Jolly.
for a family.
Jolly
I wished
God,
to
thank you,
stop
bro.
wanting one. And right as the birthday candle fumes filled the room, the door burst open. It was the
That's a
couple,
kid.
and they were holding the signed documents.
Oh.
I ran to hug them before
They were just late, I
I
guess.
even processed what was going
thought-
on. The man cried. "I lost my job 2 days before we were
I'm
meant to
sure
sign
gift.
the documents. The state froze the adoption, and there was nothing we could do." His wife stepped forward. "We never changed our minds. We never stopped thinking about you."
W.
The social
the
worker
good
set the folder
story.
down, and I signed before anyone could stop me. Weeks later, during the court hearing, my mom and dad walked into court in a full Lilo and Stitch
What the heck? Yo, what? They must be rich. Like, a whole Leo and Stitch suit would probably cost like $5,000. Not gonna lie. For a costume though, like a skin costume, that would only cost like $50. But this, like an inflatable thing, a lot,
costume,
bro.
waving both
Holy.
blue arms at me. That night in my new room, he handed me a marker, and I marked day 1 on the wall. I just marked
W.
3. Me and my idiot
They were the clapping seal, Becky. W. Becky with the live at disco. Thank you, Becky. W. Becky, bro. Thank you.
best friend Dayon rubbed each other in Vaseline at 7:52 a.m. because we were going to be late to work. There were no buses running, and even though we were 40 years old, neither of us had our driver's
Okay, 40 years old does not look like that. It's like a 70-year-old man.
license yet. I turned to him. "This is going to work. All we have to do is slide down the road and get to work on time. Otherwise, we're going to be fired." Dayan was already laying on his belly and putting on his game face.
What
in
is bro
just
doing?
seconds, we were
You're
gliding
legit.
down the street like two idiots.
Yo, what? That's not even possible, chat. What are they
Penguins
doing?
on ice. Dayan and I started cheering with both our mouths wide open because it looked like we were actually
Bro,
going to
what?
make it on time.
They
Until
were the GG. They were the hiding gifts. W. Thank you, guys.
I looked up and saw a pile of dog poop the size
What?
of a
Okay.
beanbag chair.
This
I screamed,
is-
"Watch out!" and we both grabbed at a street pole to stop
This
ourselves
is
from sliding into it. But
insane.
the Vaseline was so slippy, we slid off the pole and we both landed right into the dog poop.
Oh.
I always come
Thank
back.
you for the $2. $2. Yo, W Blue Monk. Welcome back, Blue Monk. Thank you for the 2, Blue Monk. W Blue Monk with the $2. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the tree gift. W Blue Monk. Thank you so much, dude.
Mouths first. My
W.
mouth watered in disgust because it was in my
Ew.
teeth. It was in Dayon's hair, everywhere. I instantly stood up, spitting in disgust.
Oh, then I'm gonna lie, that kind of looks like chocolate, bro. They were the live disco Becky. W Becky with the live disco. Thank you, Becky. They were the flower, Rebecca.
Dayon wiped his eyes
W
with
Becky.
his one clean knuckle. We're screwed. I looked up to see if there was a bathroom nearby, but then I saw we were right in front of our work, and my watch said it was 7:58 a.m. I shook poop off my right hand.
Yeah, I don't think they care about the poop. They just want to go to work. But like that, bro, you're cooked. Thank you for the clapping seal, Becky. Yo, Damien, you can tell me something. What's up? What's up? They were the live disco A92. W892 and Becky. Thank you both. W.
And helped Dayon up. If we don't walk in now, we're fired anyway. So we pushed inside and punched the clock 1 minute early. When our boss came out of his office, he froze, and I expected him to fire us. His eyes widened. What the? Dayon wiped his mouth and spoke quickly. The bus never came, so we greased up and slid here. And it was great until we ran into dog poop. But sir, we're on time. He stared at us for a long time. Then his face went soft.
Oh, Yo, like up the stream and subscribe, chat, alright? Like up and subscribe. Yo, what the fuck? Where the party at?
Everyone upstairs told me to fire you both 2 months ago because they told me you weren't committed to the job. He pointed at the brown trail we'd dragged across his floor. But this is the most committed thing I have ever seen. He smiled.
Yo, what's up, Sam Gaming?
I knew I was right. You're not uncommitted. You're just idiots. But you both make this job a nicer place to be in, so I'm never firing you. I stood there covered in dog poop, feeling more appreciated than I ever had in my life. Dayon put his hand up for a high five, but our hands slid right off each other. Me and my idiot best friend Dayon.
Oh, never. Yo, like up the stream and subscribe, chat, alright? They were the treat gift. Appreciate it.
I wrote, "Tell Mom I loved her," in my best shaky handwriting and left the note on my pillow, my hands still shaking from thinking about the drill sound from my last cavity filling. My dentist appointment was in an hour, and faking my own death seemed like a better plan than just telling Mom I was scared and asking to reschedule.
Shout out to Adrian. Thank you for the sub, bro.
I hid in the garage, waiting to see what would happen. My little sister.
Not gonna lie, that kind of looks like Granny's house, bro. Like the Granny game. They were the live disco Kimmy Cat. W Kimmy Cat with the live disco. Thank you, Kimmy Cat.
Sister found the note first and screamed so loud that my mom came running. Check the bathroom, then check outside. I panicked and doubled down, dragging my bike helmet and one shoe out to the backyard, leaving them by the fence like I'd been dragged off somewhere. Then I climbed into the treehouse to watch. My dad found the shoe and went pale.
Shout out to Solar. Thank you for the sub.
Pulling out his phone. Someone kidnapped him. I'm calling the police. My heart dropped straight into my stomach. I hadn't thought this far ahead, and now my sister was sobbing, and my dad's thumb was hovering over the call button. I genuinely didn't know if I should come clean.
Shout out to Cute Moth.
Keep hiding, so I wouldn't have to get back in that dental chair. Then my mom climbed up the treehouse ladder.
Subscribe right now if you want a shout out. We gotta hit 172K. Come on, chat.
And glared right at me. You have 60 seconds to come down before we call the police for real. Let's go. My mouth fell open. You knew? She laughed. Of course I did. I saw the note before your sister. I just wanted to see how far you'd take it. My dad was laughing so hard behind her he had to lean on the fence. I climbed down in silence, and we drove to the dentist with my sister glaring at me from the back seat the whole way there. I wrote,
shout out to CupTube.
The flag dropped down, and I slammed the accelerator, chasing the F1 title I'd wanted my whole life.
Shout out to Hendrix. Shout out to Tico. Shout out to Ilana.
My hands gripped the wheel as I won the first lap in first, but during my pit stop, one of my crew changed my wheels way slower than usual, almost like they wanted me to lose.
Why are they sabotaging him, bro? What?
I got annoyed and sped off, but I'd already dropped to second. My eyes caught the crowd as I came round the bend and my stomach dropped. The seat I'd reserved for my daughter was empty. She was too scared to ever watch me race, so she'd never once seen
I mean, second place is still good.
Me do what I love. I tried to just focus on the driving, but every pit stop I had, the same crew member worked.
Okay, alright, this is.
My wheel changed slower than last time, while I screamed into my helmet and watched the leaders pull away.
Thank you for the $2.
Can I have a shout out?
Shout out to Blue Monk.
Tears.
I got you, bro. Shout out to Blue Monk. Thank you for the $2. W Blue Monk.
A
W
few
Blue
laps
Mom.
from the end, I finally caught the leader, but as I went for the pass, he swerved into me. Our wheels locked together, and we drove the whole lap with our F1s pressed against each other. But then I felt the wheel my crew member had changed twitch, like it was about to go flying. My body went cold, and I thought about my daughter's empty seat in the crowd. How if I was about to crash into a barrier, and she'd never see me again?
Oh,
but then
nah.
his tire broke loose. He speared into the barrier.
Oh,
and
it's over.
his car erupted in
That's a
flames
name.
as I floored it, and suddenly I was back out front. I screamed into my
Okay, wait. Bro, why is nobody caring about how that just went on fire? What?
radio. One more clean pit stop, and the title we've been chasing for 10 years is ours. I flew into the pit on the final lap, 17 seconds ahead of second place, and immediately started shaking
W?
my head. That same slow crew member dropped my wheel and fully froze. They grabbed onto the car and wouldn't let me drive off. My crew screamed
were
and
hiding
clawed
it,
them
Brittany.
off while I punched my wheel because 25 seconds had bled away.
Okay, they're
I
actually
finally launched out, but I was now third. I crossed
third.
the
Okay.
line and lost the title by
Give
just
her the
3
W.
seconds. Exactly what the pit stop
Alexandra.
cost me. I watched the winner pop champagne, then tore off my helmet and stormed to my pit, my fists clenched, ready to end whoever just threw away my career. The rest of my crew were already surrounding the slow member, shaking their heads. But that crew member took off towards me the seconds they saw me. They threw off their helmet, and my world stopped. It was my daughter. She threw herself
What?
into me, sobbing, "I'm sorry,
You're a
Daddy.
treat,
I
kid.
know you wanted the win, but I went slowly to stop you. I was too scared to watch you die. You can't race anymore." My whole crew looked shocked as
Bro, what?
I held her, not knowing what to say. "How did you even get in my pit?" She told me she'd bribed one of
I mean, who cares, bro? If there's money, then
my crew members with my second place
Come
prize
on.
winnings from my last tournament. The flag dropped down, and I slammed
that's
the
crazy, though. Are we serious? Okay, wait. How many swords do we have, chat? We got one more sword,
I
actually.
stepped onto the stage
Okay.
at a game show, and the host pointed at 2 ropes hanging off a 50-foot tower. The first person to climb and ring the bell wins $50,000.
50,000?
The
Damn.
gym rat next to me looked me up and down and flexed his muscles.
Holy.
"Get ready to lose, Van Guy."
That's
I
insane.
grit my teeth because I was tired of people calling me that. I looked at my
Chat,
daughter.
let's hit 172k. Like up the stream, subscribe if you want shout out, and feel free to send a gift like a laughing disco, holy voice crack, or no, holy stutter. If you want me to say your name and say W's for your name too, alright?
Sitting in the audience, then turned back to him. "I will win this,
Give her the
and when
tree
I
gift.
do, my daughter and I won't have to live in a van anymore." He started laughing. "Haha, keep dreaming." I ignored him and dug my hands into the chalk
They give her the 6-7.
bucket to chalk up, but he kicked the bucket away. Chalk is for people who don't have guts. I rolled my eyes and grabbed the rope. "Ready when you are." The buzzer fired, and he rocketed up the rope like it owed him
Come
money.
on, chat, 172k. Let's do
I
it. Give her
started
the tree
hand over
gift.
hand, yelling up that he'd burn out, but he was already at the halfway mark. Then he stopped. I asked if something was
They give her the 6-7 Craftle. W Craftle with the 6-7.
wrong, but he hung off one arm and started blowing kisses at the drone cameras.
What?
He even looked down and smirked. "You still down there, Van Guy? Don't fall too hard. Keep posing and you'll lose," I yelled back through my teeth and kept pulling. But then one of my hands slipped and I screamed,
Oh, he
"No."
might be dead.
Suddenly I was hanging by one arm, legs kicking at nothing, and the whole crowd gasped. Above me, the gym rat started cackling. I
Bro, if there's no, like, padding at the bottom, then they're dead.
told you not to fall too hard. I made the mistake of looking down, and my fingers started sliding further down. But then I looked into the crowd and saw her. My daughter was standing on her seat and screaming, "Come on,
Like,
Daddy!"
are we
My
serious?
heart banged against my chest again. I pictured her sleeping in that van one more night and grit my teeth again. Then I wiped my bare hand across my chalked one and slammed it back onto the rope. I started climbing again, faster than before, and someone in the crowd pointed and yelled, "That guy is still climbing!" The gym rat's smile dropped.
Oh, he's still
When he realized he was losing the crowd. So he kicked one leg out and loosened his grip for a no-hands finisher to win the crowd back.
Okay, what is Bro doing?
But this time his grip slipped mid-pose. Suddenly he was swinging uncontrollably,
Oh,
clawing
RIP.
at the rope and screaming, "The rope's sweaty, it's the rope." I pulled level with him, looked at
RIP,
his bare
bro.
hands and said, "You should have chalked up." His grip gave out and he slid all the way down
Oh.
screaming, "No way I lost to the van guy." I calmly climbed to the
Dang.
top and rang the bell, winning $50,000.
$50,000 just for that? I'd rather watch something else. I would not watch that, bro. A rope climbing thing? That should have... A 50,000 just for that? They were 6-7 Jaxie. Like,
On the spot.
bro, what?
My daughter ran up and hugged me, so I knelt down
I
and
could
gave
do
her the
that.
cash. "Let's go buy an apartment for you." I stepped onto the
I wonder what happened to the contestant, bro. He probably died. Is the other guy okay? I don't know. He probably died. Yo, thank you for guys for 172k. W 172k. Thank you guys. Let's go. All right, let's
I
go.
walked into my son's room and instantly froze because
They were
Jacob had a
hiding it.
massive hole in his wall I'd never seen before. I saw something inside, but as I stepped, Jacob covered it with a painting. What's in the hole? I crossed my arms and he instantly
Oh,
turned
nah.
around.
Bro's hiding something.
His face draining of color. There's no hole? You're seeing things. My heart dropped because Jacob had recently started hanging around with the shady kids from our neighborhood, and I knew whatever was behind that painting, those kids were behind it too. Let me see what's behind that painting. I started walking
Imagine it's like a secret gaming room. Like, that would be insane.
toward it, but when I reached out my hand to take it, Jacob slapped it away and literally pushed me to the floor. I'm sorry, Mom, but no. I started crying on the carpet because my son had never hurt a fly and was now being violent towards me. But when I looked up, tears were also filling his eyes. Just then, the front door opened downstairs and footsteps came running up.
It's probably like a secret gaming room.
My
Like,
heart
bro,
dropped
what?
because one of the shady kids Jacob hung out with was here. He froze in the doorway.
Thank you for the sunshine. W Jaxie with the sunshine. Thank you, Jaxie. W Jaxie.
Jacob, are you serious right now? His
Thank
eyes
you,
widened as he
Jaxie.
looked at me on the ground. Does she know? He cracked his knuckles. Jacob shook his head, but his hands were trembling, and I could tell the other kid didn't believe him. I laid on the floor terrified, but I pulled out my phone and pointed it at both of them. I know there's a
Give her
hole
the
behind
tree
that painting.
gift.
You have 3 seconds before I call police. I stood up with my phone ready to dial. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll tell you.
Give her the
Jacob's
hiding
voice
gifts.
cracked, and his hand moved towards the painting, but the shady guy lunged towards me. No, she's not finding out. Suddenly, he grabbed me, and I felt something cold press against
Oh,
my neck.
nah. What? They were the W.
Knife. I'll kill her before I let her find out. My whole body
Bro,
froze
what?
because I was scared to even breathe. I looked at my son, who had his hands in the air.
You were
Okay,
6'7",
okay,
kid.
I'll find a different spot. She won't know. Please just let her go. His friend stared at him for a long moment, then slowly lowered the knife.
They
and
were the dollar, Jaxie.
let
W
me go.
Jaxie with the
Free,
dollar.
Jacob swung and sent him crashing into the dresser. Don't you touch my mom! The kid fell, and the floor shook so hard the painting dropped off my wall. I
Let's see, chat. Let's.
gasped because the hole was stuffed with wallets, watches, and firearms.
Oh, what? Bro, I thought it was gonna be a secret room, like a secret gaming room. That would be sick. And then they probably just skip school. That's what I thought, but what?
You've been robbing people and
What
selling
is
guns,
this?
Jacob added, looking ashamed. He pinned his unconscious friend to the floor, but that stops today, I promise you. He dialed 911.
Give her the tree
I
gift.
walked into my son's room.
Why did bro dial 911 on himself?
I've been lying to my therapist and
What a
mom. My
dummy.
mom installed tracking apps on my phone after she divorced my dad and stole me away. She reads my diary, which I know because I wrote, Mom,
Let's watch
I was
this
standing
one.
by the resort pool playing with my Nito when a little girl
What kind of Nito is that? That's what kind of? There's no words on it. It doesn't even say Nito. They were hiding it.
snatched it. She
Chat, type one in the chat if you have a Nito. I don't. In my opinion, I don't think it's gonna be squishy. I don't think it's gonna be like satisfying. But I might get it soon.
held it over her head, yelling,
I might get like a blue one, you know?
Oh my gosh, it's the rare Dr. Pepper one. I have to have it, and took off
What?
running to a cabana. I got up and followed her. Hey, sweetie, I need that back. That's really important to me. She ducked behind her mom and
No, thank you. Give the $2. Blue Monk. No, yeah, it's fake. It's fake. But some of the stories are real. They get it from like an app called Reddit. They copy the stories. So some of them are. They were the $2 though, Blue Monk. It's pretty.
yelled, Mom, she's trying to take my
Crazy.
toy away. Her mom looked me up and down and said, It's just a toy. I've seen her play with those a bunch of times. I stood there waiting for someone to tell me I was being pranked, but I wasn't letting this slide.
Think
I
of the
stepped into the
100.
cabana and reached for my Nito, and the kid screamed like I'd bitten her. So the mom stepped between us and said, Lady,
Okay, she just stole her needle.
leave my daughter
What?
alone
They
before
were
I
hiding
get
it.
security involved. I said, Great idea. I'll call them myself, and waved down 2 guards at the gate. When they walked over, I said, Look, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this, but this little girl stole my Nito. The big one looked between us and sighed. Are we serious right now? Over
the
a toy?
tree
I
gift.
crossed my arms. That toy is a rare collectible. I paid $500 for it, and your cameras will show her daughter ripping it out of my hand. One guard walked off to the security office, while the mom sipped her drink and smiled at me like she'd already won. 10 minutes later, he came back and said, Ma'am, the footage shows your daughter taking it from this guest's hand. She needs to give it back. Now. The kid clamped it
Yes.
to her chest and
Now.
screamed while the guard
Are we serious? Bro?
pried it out of her fingers. And
You're
the
a
second
star.
he got it loose, she kicked him right in the shin.
Oh.
Then the mom shoved the other guard and
Yo,
yelled,
what are
"I'll
they?
sue
What
this
is
whole
going
resort
on?
for harassment." They grabbed her by the arms and walked them both toward the lobby while she screamed, "I came here to relax. You people
What do you mean you came here to relax? Your daughter just stole a $500 Nito. Like, bro, what?
People are ruining my vacation. Not one word about the money. Of course not. It was her husband's anyway. The guard handed me my Nito, and as they
Like,
dragged
what
her
is-
past me, I
what?
held it up and said, I told you the toy was mine. Then I laid back in my chair, squeezed it, and enjoyed the quiet
Guys, subscribe right now if you want to shout
thrill
out.
of my life. I was tanning by the resort pool after my parents slid me a contract asking for 10% of all my money so they could keep it safe for me in case something goes wrong. I knew I needed to test them.
For the
My
makeup
company had
brush.
just hit $200 million.
Thank you for the $10, Mako. W Mako with the $10. Thank you, Mako. W Mako with the 10,
This is
bro.
so fake. The shorts.
What's up, Mako? Thank you for the 10. W Mako. And thank you for the $2 7 plays. And thank you for the laugh. Let's go. Sin. W Sin and 7 plays. What's up, 7 plays? Thank you for the 2 7 plays. And W Sin with the laugh. Let's go. But thank you, Mako, for the $10. W Mako. Thank you, Mako. W Mako and the others. Thank you.
So I decided to fake my death to see if my parents actually
Fake your that's insane. That's actually insane. Yo! Thank you for
Hi.
the $20. I would speak louder, but it is the nighttime. But thank you so much, bro, for the $20. W Mako. Mako, you're insane, bro. Thank you, Mako, for the 20. W Mako right now, chat. Thank you,
Yo,
Mako.
bro, sup?
W Mako, bro. Actual. W Mako in the chat. Thank you so much for the
loved me
20.
or just my money. I was laying in the
W.
casket, ready to find the truth about my parents, when I heard my husband's voice.
Thank
I
you,
can't
bro.
believe it. My wife is actually dead. I can finally take her money, and me and you can be together. I
Oh,
waited
nah.
so long for this. His voice was giddy, and my heart
What?
shattered because we'd been together for 5 years. My siblings showed up next. I want her beach house. No, I want her beach house. You get her cars. They were screaming at each other in the front row, and I almost
Okay,
cried,
that's actually insane. Okay, what the
realizing they only cared about my money too. Then my business partner
crazy.
showed up. We'd started the company together, so I was sure he'd mourn me. I finally own 100%.
That's crazy though. Imagine faking your death. You shouldn't even do that either way. That's like bad. They were the $2. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Nick C. W Nick C with the $2.
Yo, it's nighttime. IGTG. Bye.
Alright, you gotta go. Alright, see ya, bro. Thank you for the 2. Hope you have a good night. Alright, bro. Thank you for the $2.
of everything.
W Mako though with the $30.
Don't tell anyone.
Again,
but I'm
thank you so
happy she's
much.
dead. I opened one eye and watched him shake hands with my other shareholders. I felt like crying and was about to just sit up. But then
Thank you
my
for the 15 hiding gifts. W
parents
Mia.
arrived. They were genuinely sobbing.
Thank
and
you,
my
Mia.
mom clinked a glass. You all should be ashamed of yourself. She pointed at my siblings. This is your sister. She pointed at my husband. This is your wife. She pointed at my colleagues. This is your partner. She's dead. And the only thing you all care about is her money. Everyone went silent. And the only sound I heard was my parents' choked sobs. I started tearing up, realizing my parents were the only ones who actually
Dr.
cared. I sat
Donut.
up
They
from
were
my
the hiding
coffin,
gift.
and the whole funeral instantly gasped. Everybody went red and embarrassed.
Imagine seeing that. Like, imagine thinking one of your family members died, and then you just see them like.
Nobody said a word
alive?
and nobody moved, except my parents, who ran to me and hugged
That's
me.
a
You're
vibe
alive.
forge.
Now I knew who truly loved me. After my parents slid me a I was tanning by the resort pool playing with my Nito when a little
Oh,
after my
we already
my
watched
cousin
that.
told
Okay.
me, keep your legs closed around my fiance. My cousin Jade asked me to be her maid of honor, and I said yes without hesitation. But then during the bridal shower, I was walking into the party when Jade grabbed my arm and spun me around. She slapped me so hard my ears rang.
I want to watch
I
this
woke
one.
up to my bedroom filled with fire smoke, and I immediately
Oh,
started
what?
choking. I
You
rolled
were the
off the
press
mattress
F.
and
What is
crawled
happening? What the hell,
across
bro?
the floor. But when I tried to open my bedroom door,
Why? Okay, why would you crawl in the floor? I get it, but like, there's no fire
the
near you.
handle wouldn't turn.
I get it.
yanked it with both hands, and it still didn't budge. Someone had locked me in, and the room was only getting hotter. I
Oh,
grabbed
nah.
my phone off the nightstand and called 911.
There's literally a
But
window.
before I could say anything, the woman said, "Crews are already on the way, ma'am." I froze because I hadn't even given her
What?
my address yet.
We're
And I
hiding
knew
it.
something was very wrong. Call
Give me the
station
tree
12. Tell
gift.
them it's Luke's apartment. My boyfriend's one of the firefighters. Please hurry. I could hear the flames crackling and popping at the bottom of the stairs.
Thank you for the 6-7 Waleed, and thank you for the 6-7 Amy, and thank you for the $2. Robert. W Robert with the $2. Thank you, Robert. Yes, I remember you, Robert. Thank you
Do
for
you
the
remember me? I
$2.
donate you a
I
lot.
remember you on the other streams. W Robert with the 2, bro. Thank you so much, Robert. W.
So I dropped to the ground and
W.
took
Rob.
my phone out, getting ready to type the last message I'd ever sent. I texted Luke,
They
"There's
were
a
hiding
fire.
this.
I can't get out. I love you." Orange light was flickering through the gap under my
Imagine
door.
that's him.
Smoke got so thick I couldn't see my
That'd
phone
be
in my own
insane.
hand, and I pressed my mouth into the carpet just to breathe. That's when I heard something slamming into my bedroom door. Bang, bang. My door burst open to a row of firefighters, all wearing
the-
suits. I gasped, "What the hell?"
the King
Luke
Coffee.
pushed through the center and dropped to one knee in front of me, holding a ring between two gloved fingers. 6 years ago, I carried you out of a building. everything. I wanted to ask you the
You were
same
the
way
GG.
I met you. Will you marry me? Behind him, his whole crew crowded the doorway grinning. And
Hell
one of them
no, I would not do that.
raised a smoke
That's
machine
real
and speaker
fire.
over his head like a trophy. There was never a fire.
Oh wait,
Luke had
there
filled his
wasn't.
apartment with movie smoke, played fire sound effects
Oh.
at full volume, and did everything he could to make the situation.
Okay, so what about the actual fire stuff? What? Thank you for the $20, Robert. Oh, thank you, Robert, for the $20. W. Robert with the 20. W. Robbie. W. Robert. Thank you for the 20. W. Robert. And thank you for the $2, Fluffy. W. Fluffy with the 2. And W. Robert with the $20. W. Robert, bro. Thank you, Robert.
Feel as
W.
real as possible. I slapped his chest.
W.
I left you
Fluffy.
a final text, Luke. I thought I was going to die. He caught my wrist and pressed the ring into my palm. I know. I read it on the stairs. I'm keeping it forever. I grabbed his shoulders. Yes, I'll marry you, you idiot. Just no more fake emergencies. He laughed and playfully nudged my elbow. Yo, that's fire. I woke up to my bedroom filled with fire.
That's fire.
I woke up. My mother-in-law said, choose which twin gets the liver transplant. I'm only paying for one. Agatha
What?
hated me ever since her son married me instead of the rich heiress she'd wanted.
Here, I'll
I
watch
caught the 3 kids who'd been
this one,
terrorizing
this
my
one.
street, spraying graffiti across my front wall.
Graffiti?
So I grabbed my cane and marched out. But when I looked up, my whole body went cold. They'd sprayed all over the plaque of my best friend who died.
What are they even writing? All I see is run and some gibberish. They were 6'7", Chloe.
I turned and jabbed my cane at them, telling them to
Chloe.
stop spraying. But the biggest one sneered, what does that stupid plaque even mean? And what are you gonna do about it, Granny? He snatched my cane from me while the other 2 kept spraying. Wait, I think this plaque is a memorial for her friend or something? One of them squinted at the plaque, now barely visible through the paint. Let's spray a skull emoji, lol. I was almost crying. I
A
tried to
skull
stop.
emoji? That's insane. They were 6'7", Chloe. W. Chloe with the 6'7". Thank you. My bad if I'm saying your name wrong. Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out. We gotta hit 173K. Come on. Come on, chat.
But I couldn't move well without my cane. But when I reached for it, the biggest one held it above my head. Go on, talk to me about that respect your elders bullcrap. That's the card you geriatrics love to pull. He snickered. So I bent down as far as I could and grabbed a rock, my hands shaking. I hurled it straight into his shin, and his laughing turned to a scream of pain. He dropped my cane to grab his leg, and I snatched it off the ground and started jabbing his buffoon friends who were still spray painting. The biggest screamed, "You're gonna pay for that. We'll be back tonight, and you'll regret touching me." I replied,
Yo, what's up, Leon? How's it going, bro? Yo, what's up, Blueberry Muffin?
the first time a woman's ever touched you anyway. The 3 of them ran off down the street. I looked at the destroyed plaque, then went inside and made one phone call. That evening, the 3 brats
Holy
came back like they
unk.
promised.
Everybody type unk in the chat. This
Running
is
up
a
my path
unk,
like
bro.
they owned it and shaking their cans of spray paint. But
I
this
know
time,
that.
I was already
Realize it.
outside, leaning on my cane and calm as anything. They got halfway up the path, grinned and raised their cans,
Holy
ready to
unk.
spray me this time. But then 8 soldiers stepped out from the bushes.
Oh, what the heck? Yo, what? Nah, but what's up, Leon? That's crazy, though. Why are there, like, 5?
and surrounded them, their firearms cocked.
Oh,
My second
nah.
in command cocked his shotgun. Every grin dropped, and the biggest one
Not even 5. There's, like, 10 of
so
them.
pale, a wet patch spread down his jeans. The men who'd served under me looked at my best friend's name
Bro,
buried
what?
under the spray paint, then stepped forward, closing the circle on the punks who were now crying from fear.
You're the
I
tree
reached out
gift.
and pressed the tip of my cane into the biggest one's shivering temple. Now you're gonna clean all the spray paint off, or my squad here will make sure you never spray
Bro,
paint
what?
again. Got it? He started nodding like he'd been put on loop. 5 minutes later, I was watching them crying as they scrubbed the
What's
wall
up,
on
Nate?
their knees. My best friend's name was Clean again, but I wasn't stopping until they'd scrubbed every house they'd sprayed. I caught the 3 kids who'd been terrorizing my street, spraying graffiti across my
Oh,
front.
that's
The birthday
insane.
girl sat down at my hibachi table, but then her eyes instantly went wide. Oh my god, it's the whale. You actually work here? My face
What?
turned red because I recognized them immediately. The 3 girls who bullied me in high school for being fat and saying I wanted to be a chef. But now I
Oh,
was a
nah.
professional, so I just lit the grill and told myself they'd mature.
How do they
in
even
every
still recognize her? Give her the $2, Blue Monk. W Blue Monk with the 2. Yo, collab soon? Maybe, but not on Gorilla
Yo,
Tag.
collab soon?
Cannot do Gorilla Tag, bro, but sure. W Blue Monk with the $2.
everything would be fine. Until the birthday girl leaned over. I bet you dropped all that weight using Ozempic. There's
Well,
no
maybe.
way
I
you
don't
did it for
care.
real. My fists
Any
curled around the
collab, it could be
spatula
on Gorilla
because I worked
Tag.
so hard to lose that weight I'd pass out in training. But I just flipped their shrimp and started dicing their potatoes for their noodle
Give her the
bowl. But
treat
suddenly,
gift.
I caught a bright flash in my eye. Hot grease splashed on my hand because I couldn't see. And when I looked up, the birthday girl was filming. I can't believe it. It's the whale. This is so going on my story.
Oh, nah.
My legs shook from embarrassment under the table, and I swallowed dryly as I placed their noodle bowl in front of them. I did the onion volcano next that every customer loved.
That's
All 3 of them
actually good.
started
Cooking
booing
though.
so loud the other tables turned. We're paying for this. That was pathetic. Do it again. They started snapping their
Again.
fingers. I wanted to cry, and that's when I felt something on my uniform. I looked up and saw one of the friends had picked shrimp off the grill and thrown it at my chest.
Oh,
My eyes
nah.
went wide,
It was
and that's
trigger.
when the birthday girl giggled, "Let me join in." She hurled a handful of rice at my face. I managed to dodge most of it. but
How do
some
they
landed on my
how do
uniform.
they find that more funny than her performance, bro? Like
And as
what?
the three of them howled, I couldn't take it. I gripped my spatula so hard my knuckles went red, then placed it on the grill and accidentally flicked a drop of hot grease onto the birthday girl's cheek. She instantly shrieked, "It hurts!" and threw her arms in the air. Her elbows caught her giant bowl of noodles, which tipped all over her birthday outfit. Broth ran down
Oh my
her dress
gosh.
as she stood up screaming, and I tried not to laugh. Her friends were also screaming because the noodles had tipped onto their dresses, and now boiling hot broth was running down
Oh
their legs.
my
They ran out
gosh.
screaming, and I just laughed and started eating some of their shrimp. I wasn't letting it go to waste. The birthday girl
Yo,
sat down at my hibachi
that's
table, but
crazy.
then her eye I caught the three kids who'd
We
been
already
terror-
watched
the
that. What
birthday-
am I doing?
I'd just gotten home from my 6th 12-hour shift in a row when I saw my 5-year-old son standing on a chair pulling something
What
out of
is
the
bro
oven.
doing?
Baby, no, you're going to burn yourself. I dropped my bags and ran over, but he shoved his little body in front of the oven, blocking me. No, mommy. I tried to pull him back.
That's
but
not
he
even an oven. That's a. Or I mean, no, that is an oven.
ripped the oven door and kicked
That's
me
a
with his
robber.
legs. My son has never given me trouble, so I couldn't understand why he was acting like this. I reached for him with shaking arms, tired from my shift, but he spun around startled and knocked the stove knob, lighting the burner
Oh,
beneath the
nah.
dish towel. It caught instantly, flames crawling toward the cabinets.
Oh my
Move! I
God.
shoved him back and turned off the burner, but as I reached for a towel to smother the flames, he screamed, "I want to help mommy, let me help," and threw a bag of flour over it before I could. The whole thing erupted into a fireball,
That's even-
the flour feeding the flames as they roared across the
What are we doing?
ceiling faster than I could breathe. Oh my god, we have to go, now! But he
What are
lunged
we
back
doing,
toward
chat?
the oven, the heat scorching his
What
little
is he
body.
doing?
No, my cake! I need my cake! I couldn't understand why he cared about a stupid cake, but if we didn't leave, we'd die. So I threw him over my shoulder and ran, stumbling onto the lawn as our house went up in flames, with no clue why my son did this. Firefighters swarmed the yard, blasting
Not gonna
the
lie,
flames.
why did the son put flour? Like that's kind of sus, bro.
I grabbed my sobbing son. Why was a cake worth burning the house down? He wiped his tears and yells, "It's your birthday, mommy. You've been working so much that you forgot. You work so hard for me, so I wanted to make you a cake." My heart broke, and a firefighter beside us gently touched my burnt shoulder. "Ma'am,
You're
it's your
a star.
birthday? Let us help you." I was confused, but within the hour, our whole street had gathered, promising to help us rebuild. The same firefighter left the store, brought out a cake, and everyone sang to me as my son hugged my leg. I'd just gotten home from
Wait, so it's a candy kid. What?
Every day at lunch, I secretly slipped extra Fruit Loops onto one girl's tray because I knew what she did with them. She'd thread them onto string and make bracelets, then walk around the cafeteria handing them out with a big smile, hoping someone would take one. No one ever did, but she never stopped smiling. Then one afternoon, the principal stormed across the cafeteria, ripped the bracelets off her arm, and
Oh,
threw them on
nah.
the floor. "Stop bothering my students with your bracelets. This is
That's
meaningless junk."
crazy.
He ground them under his heel, and the kids exploded with laughter, scooping up the crushed cereal and throwing it at her. "Weirdo, lonely freak." She sank to the floor, gathering the pieces with shaking hands. My daughter was the only kid in that cafeteria who wasn't laughing. She stood up from her table, and I froze, wondering what she was about to do. She ran up
That's
to my
crazy.
counter, her face red. "Mom, why
Bullies, bro.
is everyone so mean to her? She didn't do anything." I crouched down to her. "I know, baby, but if I step in, the principal will fire me." And behind
Shout out
her,
to
we heard a
Max.
loud sob. A whole table of kids started flicking their tray food at her, and she pulled her hood up, dropped her head, and stood there crying as the kids chanted, "Cereal girl, cereal girl." The principal watched from the doorway, laughing. My daughter turned, saw all of it, and her hands curled into fists. I know what to do.
Oh,
She
nah.
marched into my kitchen and started ripping cereal boxes off the shelves. The other ladies yelled at her to get out, but she crammed every box into
Shout out to Miffy. Shout out to Very
her
Good.
backpack and ran. "Where are you going?" I called, but she was already gone. And the next day, my daughter marched up to the girl at her lonely table and emptied her backpack, spilling out a mountain of bracelets, every cereal
Oh
in
my gosh.
kitchen threaded into the brightest bracelets I'd ever seen.
Not gonna
"No,
lie,
not
I would
here.
just eat the bracelets, bro. I would take it and eat it. Shout out to Daniel
You make the
Mills.
coolest bracelets in school." The girl's eyes filled up. "You don't think they're weird?" My daughter slid one onto the girl's
Like,
wrist and
honestly,
held up her own arm with a
I'll
matching
just
one.
eat them.
No, the principal's a weirdo, but now we're
Honestly,
best
bro.
friends who match bracelets. The girl threw her arms around my daughter, sobbing, but with the biggest smile on her face. Every day at lunch, I secretly
W.
slipped extra Fruit Loops onto one girl's
W
tray
story.
because I knew what she did. I woke up on my birthday and walked downstairs to no cake, no banners, and no presents. "Where's my birthday stuff?" I asked excitedly, but Mom just rolled her eyes. "We told you. Your birthday's on December 20th, so it makes no sense to celebrate
December
it. We'll just do
20th.
it 2-for-1 on Christmas." My heart sank for the third year in a row, but when Mom promised, "This year will actually be special, we have something planned for you," I got my hopes up. Christmas morning, I woke up with hope in my chest, but when I
Shout out to Glacier. They were the treat gift
came
jacks.
downstairs, my parents and brother were already tearing open their presents. I got on my knees and unwrapped mine.
You're
seeing the
lighting
same
Damn,
makeup
Tracy.
and dresses for the 5th year in a row. After presents, my brother immediately ran to play with his new PS5, while mom and dad sat on the couch watching TV. Do you have any birthday stuff for me? I asked, my legs shaking because I didn't want to press. Mom took my hand. Of course we do, honey, but you have to wait. So I did. The whole day I waited as my
The
brother played
whole
his
day? That's L parents, bro. Shout out to Cool Dev. Shout out to Eba. Shout out to... I actually give shout outs, chat. It's just that you guys aren't subscribing. That's what's happening. You guys aren't subscribing. Alright, what am I doing?
Dad swept the driveway and mom watched TV, telling me to be patient. But during Christmas dinner when we toasted
Shout out to Earl. Shout out to your local... Oh my gosh, the chat is going fast now. Shout out to CY Link VR.
Mom didn't even mention my
Oh, no.
birthday. I dug through my mashed potatoes.
Shout out to
wanting
Liam. Shout out to
to
Fran.
cry, but then 8 p.m. hit. I was beginning to lose hope when my parents came into my room. We have your surprise, honey. It's ready. They beamed. My chest
Shout
lit
out
up
to
with hope, and I stood up
Anwar.
and followed them to the kitchen table, shaking with excitement. Mom put a birthday hat on my head and
Anwar.
handed me a present
Shout out to Jennifer.
wrapped in shiny red paper.
Shout out to
I immediately
Jiwoo.
tore into it, but my face dropped when I realized
Shout
it
out
was
to
the
Kat.
exact makeup set I'd opened this morning. They'd taken it from my room and rewrapped it to give
Shout
to me
out
now.
to-
I looked up in shock, right as the flash of Mom's phone caught my
I don't know.
eyes. Smile, honey. My throat had a lump, but just as I was about to speak, Dad set down the almost gone Christmas pudding we'd eaten at dinner. Mom
That's so small. I would crash out. That piece is so small. Thank you for the $2,
Yo
Ian.
W stream.
Thank you, Ian, for the 2, bro. W stream. Thank you, Ian. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but Ian with the $2. Thank you, Ian.
jammed a
Thank you
candle
for the
into
support.
the only slice left, and the two of them started singing Happy Birthday.
W.
The second the song ended, Mom smiled. See, you got the 2-in-1. She walked back to her TV and sat down before I said a word, and Dad walked away too. My brother was still on his PS5 upstairs, while I stood there crying in the empty living room. The sad part was,
That's
this was the best
iconic.
birthday I'd had in 3 years. I woke up on my birthday.
Wait, what?
I woke up thirsty at 3 in the morning, and halfway down the stairs, I saw a tall figure standing at the bottom
Oh, nah. Who's that? Shout out to Yebby
in the
Place.
dark, just watching me. I
Imagine seeing that. I
gripped the
would.
banister. Daddy? He
They were
didn't
loud
answer.
enough.
He just stood there, still as a photograph, long enough that my stomach started to hurt. After a minute, his shoulders finally
A
relaxed.
minute? Why would you stay there for a minute? They were the trade
Go back
gift.
to bed, sweetheart. I froze on the steps and started shaking because his voice sounded wrong. You sound weird. His whole body went rigid,
Shout out to
like I'd
Michael.
said something that scared him. He didn't move any closer, just stood there blocking the stairs. And in the little bit of moonlight through the window, I saw that he was wearing work boots, thick and heavy, the kind that my dad had never once worn. Everything is fine.
They were the
Go back
treat
upstairs.
gifts.
I backed up one stair at a time, and he watched me.
Is
hold,
that a
never coming
robber,
any
bro?
closer, never blinking that I could see. When I reached the top, he finally started to walk away into the dark, facing me the entire time, all the way until he stepped
They were
sideways
hiding a
around the
meme
corner
guy.
and was gone.
Not gonna lie, her looking like through the creek is a smart idea. Shout out to Cameron. You can't see much, but
I ran to my room, locked the door, and sat against
Actually
it with
smart.
my knees against my chest. I told myself Dad must be sick, and that's why he sounded weird. I took a deep breath, climbed into my bed, and went back to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to my mom screaming. I ran downstairs and saw that our TV, laptops, and stereo were all
oh,
gone.
so
The
it was
back
just
door
a
stood
robber?
open, the
That's
frame
insane, bro.
splintered outward.
They're
My dad was
hiding it.
already on the phone with the police. We were all upstairs asleep. We didn't hear a thing. My mom pulled me into a hug. Thank God they didn't come upstairs. I don't know what I would do if they had taken you. Over her shoulder,
You were that
I
treat
stared at the
gift.
muddy boot prints on the kitchen floor, and I couldn't make a single sound come out of my mouth. I never told my
Show the
parents
cubie
what
the
actually
cube.
happened that night. I woke up thirsty at 3 in the morning.
Why? What?
My best friend asked me, so why aren't you
That would
going
actually be a good thing, so they could find out.
to your sister's wedding this
Who it
Saturday?
was.
What wedding? She pulled her phone out. I thought you knew, but weren't going. She said you two had a falling out. She showed me Claudia's account. The most recent post, 3 days until I'm Mrs. Coleman. She scrolled through the proposal 14 months ago at the Vineyard, the engagement party at our parents' house, the bachelorette weekend in
Shout out to
Nashville.
Yolts.
She
I don't
made-
want to
my
watch
boyfriend
this one.
drove me 4 hours to meet his parents, and he brought his sister up twice on the way. She's shy, just don't push her. When his family came out onto the porch, his sister
My
stared
bad
at
if the
ground
audio is low. It's just low like that. I don't know why. Shout out to
and
Onyx.
shook my hand like we were closing on a house. It's so nice to finally meet you. Her face seemed familiar, but I couldn't place it, and the way she twisted her long red hair around her fingers like she was strangling them left a lump in my throat.
Chat, is it
Something was
loud?
wrong with her in a way that wasn't just being shy, and I needed to know what. We sat down for dinner, and I immediately got
Is it
nosy.
loud?
Okay, I need embarrassing childhood stories. He cried at a petting zoo because a goat wouldn't eat out of his hand. He
We
broke
already
his arm
watched
jumping
this.
off
What
a
am I
rope swing
doing?
on dry
I'm
land.
sorry. We already watched it. Oh my god. We're gonna have to go back, chat. We're gonna go back.
My boyfriend drove me 4
Okay, what am I doing? Okay. We gotta watch the other old shorts that these people has made. We gotta look. We gotta look, chat. We gotta look. I'm scrolling. So watch. Dang, I watched most of these, chat.
I was working at a marine park and had just thrown a fish to my sea lion during the show when I spotted the 3 girls who bullied me at school sitting in the front row. They always made fun of me for working at my mom's fish shop and said I smelled
Fish shop. Shout out to Tyson.
like the fish. And now that they'd found
That's
me, they
insane.
immediately pointed at me and laughed. Oh my gosh, mermaid girl, I didn't know you were working here. The
Shout
leader
out
of
to
their
Miss
group,
Blix.
Kelsey, had her phone pointed at me and started recording. The crowd around her started turning to look. Her 2 friends scooted forward against the splash zone railing. This is so funny, I'm gonna pee myself. I tried my best to ignore them and focus on the performance. I faced my sea lion Bubba, and he did a flip in the air, and I threw a fish in his mouth. The crowd gave a round of applause. Hey Bubba! Kelsey leaned her whole body over the rail, holding her phone out, and started mocking me. Is the mermaid girl your girlfriend? Because you're the only one who'd date her. Her friends doubled over laughing. Kelsey
that's
knelt on top of the
insane.
safety rail to get a better angle to film me. If someone fell in this tank right now, that dumb sea lion would just watch them drown. He's too dumb to know the difference. She turned to
Okay,
wink at her
that's
friends,
just rude,
and just
bro.
as she did, she started losing her balance. She stuck both
That's
her hands
rude to the sea lion. Everybody hit it. Oh, Chad, do you remember that trend? It's like everybody hit it with me in the sea lion. Not gonna lie, it was kind of a bad song. I did not like it, bro.
in the air and flailed them around, but it wasn't enough to save her.
Gotta hang.
Splash! She fell over backwards into the tank. She came up screaming, "I can't swim!" She slapped the water. Her orange iPhone floated to the top of the water. She tried to escape by clawing at the smooth glass side of the tank, but it didn't work. Through the glass, I could see her arms
she's
thrashing,
drowning.
slower each time. I was the only lifeguard on duty.
R.I.P.,
Her friends
bro.
screamed, "Do something! Save her!" For a second, I paused and wondered if I should just let her drown, but I didn't. Instead, I whistled. Bubba launched off the platform. One push,
That's
and
a
he shot down to
Lorenzo.
her underwater. He clamped her hoodie in his teeth and pushed her up with his nose. He shoved her toward me at the edge of the tank. I grabbed her under the armpits and hauled her up
W.
onto the deck. The crowd went silent. I picked the towel off the rail and dropped it on her chest. Guess he wasn't too dumb after all. Bubba hauled himself onto the deck beside me and shook off. Water sprayed across Kelsey and the dry towel I just
Shout
dropped
out
on
to
her.
Kaden.
I tossed him his fish. Good boy. I was working at a marine park,
Good
and
boy.
when I came home, my mom pointed at the dishes in the sink. "Why didn't you wash my plate?" I sighed because I've cleaned up her mess my whole life. I held
Shout out
up
to Meow
my
Cat.
hands. They were raw, cracked, and bleeding
Oh my gosh, holy.
from the cleaning chemicals. "Mom, my hands burned from cleaning after you so much. I physically couldn't wash them." She put my hands down. "I don't care. All you do
Shout out
is
to Meow
disappoint me.
Cat.
You make me wish I never had a child." She regretted my existence over not washing her plate. So I decided I was going to show her what life without a child looks like and make her regret every word. The next day, my mom left her plate of food on the counter and walked away. Normally, I'd clean
Shout out to Azor. Shout out to CD Dasher.
it up, but this time I had a plan. I left it sitting there.
The
The
over
next
67 Maria. Guys, feel free to send gifts like laughing discos if you want me to say your name and say W's. You don't have to though. Shout out to Beanbag Buffalo.
morning, my mom saw the plate and pushed it toward me. "Are
If
you
you
serious?
wanna.
Clean this up." She picked up food off the plate and threw it at me. I kept a smile
Shout
on
out to
my face.
Avatar
Okay,
Lover.
she walked away, but I left the plate there. A few days later, the food on the plate was turning brown. More of her plates
Oh. What do you mean turning brown? That's just rotten.
were stacking up
That's
next
not
to
even.
it. Fruit flies started buzzing around the counter.
my
My
God.
mom walked in and swatted at a fly. "You're disgusting for leaving this here. This is
Thank you for the laughing disco, Kaser. W Kaser with the laughing disco. Thank you, Kaser. W Kaser. Or Kaiser. W Kaser. They were hiding it.
exactly why I regret having you." I didn't say a word. By the end of the week, the food was moldy. The smell hit my mom the second she walked through the front door. She gagged. Her plates were stacked across the kitchen. The trash was overflowing with her
the
own
hell?
takeout containers. She looked around at the house she destroyed. "I'm kicking you out." I looked at her calmly. "You don't have to kick me out." She looked at me confused. I pointed at my bags that were already
the
packed by
treat
the front
gifts.
door. Her face changed. "What is this?" "I was preparing you for what life without me looks like. No one to clean up after you. No one to pick up your plates.
Oh,
Isn't this
nah.
what you wanted? Life without a child?"
You were
She stood
6'7".
there looking around at the mess. Her
Pipe
mess.
cleaner
You
are-
can't leave. Who's going to clean this house? I smiled and knocked the trash can
Her.
over. When I came home,
Like what? They were
I was
hiding
counting
it.
how many A's I got on my report card when my parents barged in. "We got you a babysitter because we don't trust you." I stared at them in shock and was convinced
What?
that they had to be joking. "I'm 16 and an honor student. What the hell are you talking about?" My mom handed a college student
Shout
named
out-
Kayla a list
Shout
of
out
house
to
rules.
Edits
Make sure
Prods.
she goes to bed by 10. No exceptions. I felt extremely angry because I was already the perfect child. I'd never even hit a geek bar before. That night, I looked out my
Thank
window
you
and
for the 6-7 Tamara and Maria. W with Robert with the $10 though. Thank you, Robert, for the $10. W. Robert in the chat. Thank you so much, Robert, with the 10. W. Robert in the chat right now. Thank you, Robert, for the 10 dollies. What? W. Robert. Thank you, Robert. You were 6-7 tomorrow. W. Robert, bro.
Megan's sweet 16 party that I was supposed to go to. I felt heartbroken because we'd been planning her party for months.
You were
And
6'7",
now everyone was
Samantha.
having fun without me. But at 8 p.m., my babysitter Kayla knocked on my door. I'm completely exhausted from finals, so I'm going to bed before your 10 p.m. sleep deadline. You should too. I was extremely confused because what college
For the
student
dollar
sleeps at 8
Sushi
p.m.?
Nova.
But then I heard something outside and looked out to see her sneaking across the lawn toward a car waiting
They were
with its headlights
6'7" pipe cleaner art.
off. My responsible babysitter had just snuck out to see her boyfriend. I laughed because now I was home alone and I could do whatever I wanted. I grabbed my phone and went out the back door to Megan's house. I felt like an evil mastermind.
You're
And
lying
when
again.
Megan saw me, she hugged me. Yes, Beach, you actually came.
Oh,
Part of
nah.
me was scared about what my parents would do when they found
You
out,
were
but I didn't
6'7".
care anymore. But we were dancing around like
Did she just call her a beach? Bro, what?
idiots to Chappelle Roan when we heard an explosion on the street. I was extremely scared, and when we ran to the windows,
what?
we saw that my house was on fire. I was
Oh,
extremely
nah.
grateful that no one was inside the house, but that's when my babysitter came home. Kayla's
You should
car
care about
screeched
the
into
house, though.
driveway, and she jumped out screaming, "There's a
All
girl
that
inside!" She
furniture?
thought I was still inside. My parents came flying around the corner,
Give it a
and my
treat,
dad tried to
Jeff.
push through to the house before firefighters grabbed him. We all ran out to see what was going to happen next. My mom dropped to her knees in the street because she thought her only daughter had just
What?
burned alive in the flames. I walked up behind her and touched her shoulder, and he turned around and grabbed me so hard I could barely breathe. "Where were you?" she managed. "Megan's party," I said. The fire marshal
You were
walked over.
6'7",
Gas leaked from the
NT gamer.
stove. Someone didn't turn the burner off. Everyone looked at Kayla. My dad whispered, "We trusted the wrong person." I smiled. "Hell yeah, you did." I was counting how many A's I got on my report card when my parents
W.
At my birthday party, my best friend announced, "I've been sleeping with your dad." My best friend Rose said it right as I was blowing out my birthday candles. Everyone froze. My mom went pale. Rose stood there, proud of herself. "Which one?" I asked.
Okay, here.
3 men
Let's
jumped
watch
out in
this
ghillie
one.
suits and pointed weapons at me while I was feeding cute ducks. One of them screamed at me, "Get on the ground now!" Someone from behind grabbed my arms and kicked my knees forward.
Oh,
my
nah.
face was pushed into the ground. "What's happening? You're trespassing on government
Shout out
property."
to
My
man.
grandfather had warned me about this. His farm bordered a military base, but there was no fence between the properties. He told me, "They train new recruits over there who don't know about my farm. Don't go past the line of willow trees and you'll be fine." The willow trees
Shout out
were
to
past the duck
Elizabeth.
pond, and yet I was not fine. After tying me up, one of the recruits said, "Searcher." "Nothing, sir." "Hey," I shout. "This is my grandfather's property. You are the ones trespassing." They used their radios to report catching me. I was crying now. "Please, just call him. My grandfather will explain everything." They ignored me. The one holding the radio turned to the recruit closest to me. "Sir, the commander will be here in 10. I'm not deaf, Thompson. It was clear by now that the
You were
one next to me
6'7"
was the
Sushi
ringleader.
Nova.
Ringleader grabbed my arm and jerked me into a sitting position. "Why are you on our base?" "I'm not. You are standing on a farm." Ringleader scoffed.
Oh,
"What farm?
nah.
Aren't you supposed to grow
What?
things on farms?" He gestures at the land
Guys, stop spamming hello, bro.
surrounding us. "My grandfather owns sheep and cows. They're just on the other half of the property right now." "Oh, how convenient. If you
Thank you for the dollar, Sanchez. W. Sanchez with the dollar. And thank you for the $2, Isabel Love. W. Isabel Love and Sanchez. Thank you both. They were 6'7" Sushi Nova. Thank you both. Thank you.
If you don't start talking,
W.
my hand might slip, and you could end up with a black eye, or worse. "The hell you think you're doing, Daniels?" Ringleader freezes, and I look over to see an
They were
old man
6'7"
wearing a
Sushi
uniform
Nova.
step out of what looked like a military-grade golf cart. Ringleader points to me. "Commander, this is the trespasser in question, sir." The commander turns to them. "Do you know where you 3 knuckleheads are?" Ringleader answered.
Alright,
"We were
why are we spamming hello? If you spam hello, you're getting banned from my chat. They were the $2, Sanchez. W. Sanchez with the $2. Thank you, Sanchez. W. Sanchez with the 2. They were lying.
following our map for a training exercise. Were you reading it upside down, maggot? You're standing on this man's property. My grandfather and I now spend our days drinking tea and watching the recruits work his farm for him as punishment, completely for free. 3 men jumped
Okay,
out
now you all are spamming hello. I think I'm gonna have to ban all of you. Alright, who do you ban first? Alright, you. Nah, I'm joking. Stop spamming though, bro. Chill,
When
bro.
I walked into the
Stop spamming. They were the dollar, Sanchez. W. Sanchez with the dollar.
restaurant with my guide dog, I heard my date sigh from across the room. I heard him mumble the words, "Pretty girls like you always try to be disabled." I was in the
I wanna
back seat of my
watch.
best friend's car when she dangerously swerved into the other lane.
Oh,
I shot
nah.
up. Peyton, pull over. You're drunk and it's 2 a.m. Just let me drive. She
You're
looked
the
at me
gold
through
coin.
the rearview mirror. I'm fine. The guy in the passenger seat she just met at the party put his feet on the dashboard. She'll be fine. Relax. But she could barely keep the car straight. Peyton, pull the car over now. She slammed the brakes on the side of the highway.
Are we
Get out of
serious,
my car.
bro?
You're being a terrible friend right now.
What do you mean she's being a terrible friend? She's literally helping out. Bro, what? Give her the tree
refused.
gift.
And that's when the random guy got out
She's
of the passenger
literally
seat,
helping
opened the
out.
back door, and yanked me out of the car. She drove off. I was on the side of the highway, alone, and I had no idea how I was getting home. Peyton was the only person who knew where I was, so I called her to come back to get me. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. Then my phone screen went black. It died. I was completely stranded. I started walking down the highway to find a gas station, but then I saw headlights slowing down behind me. A man leaned out the window. You need a ride? Everything in me said, don't get in this car because it's sketchy. But I had no phone and no other option. I told him my address and got in his car. He pulled onto the highway and he passed my exit. Hey, that was my exit. You passed
Oh,
it. He
nah.
ignored me and kept driving. Where are you going? Take me back right now. He
They were Flower Norland.
reached under his seat and
They were the $2.
He.
They were the $2. W Isabel with the $2. Thank you, Isabel. W Isabel, what's up? They were the 2.
pulled out a small knife. Be quiet, or else. I couldn't believe my luck. I got kicked out of my best friend's car, and now I was going to get
You're lying,
kidnapped. I
gifts.
grabbed the handle, kicked the door open, and jumped out of his car while it was still moving. I was on the ground, scraped up, back on the
No.
side of the highway, and that's when I saw a gas station across the highway. I ran to it. I
They were the
went
star.
inside and asked the cashier if I could use their phone. He knocked
Is bro homophobic? No. I just don't want to say it because I'm trying to keep things simple so I can play the video. I just told us not to. They were the finger heart, Landon. W Landon with the finger heart. W Landon. Thank you, Landon, for the finger heart, bro. W Landon.
nodded and handed it to me. I dialed Peyton's number because she was the only
Shout out
person in
to
my
Kayla.
life that I knew would be awake right now. It rang. Hello, who is this? The person who answered wasn't Peyton. I'm trying to reach my friend Peyton. This is her phone. Who is this?
They were the live disco Dewey. W Dewey with the live disco. Thank you, Dewey.
There was a pause. This is Dr. Ramos. Are you family? My stomach dropped. What happened? Your friend was in a car accident tonight. She was driving under the influence.
Thank you for the finger heart, Dallas. W Dallas with the finger heart. Thank you, Dallas. They were the flower. They were the tree gift. They were the hiding gift.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you, guys.
but she didn't make it. I stood there in shock. If she hadn't kicked me out of that car for a random guy, I would have been dead too. I was in the backseat.
That's crazy. They were the finger heart again. I love Hey Skyfall. W Skyfall with the finger heart. Thank you, Skyfall. W Skyfall.
I
Thank
walked
you.
into the cafe my ex always talked about and told the
Holy.
barista I'm deathly allergic to almonds. Then she poured almond milk into my coffee. I took it and accidentally inhaled it, and my throat started tightening.
They were the
immediately.
treat
So I
gifts.
dug
They
through
were
my
the
purse for
W's.
Benadryl
They were
with
the hiding
shaking hands.
gifts.
I went back the next morning to see if
Chat,
she
we gotta hit 173K. Come on, lock in, chat. They were the GG Easy Christian. They were the flower.
really did do it on purpose. Can I get
Lock
an oat milk
in.
cappuccino? Oh, and I'm allergic to soy. Behind the counter, I watched as she grabbed the soy milk. Day 3, I
Oh,
told her I had
nah.
a severe nut allergy. She wrote no nuts in big letters on my cup, then pumped 3 shots of hazelnut syrup. She
Are
handed
we
it
serious?
over
Are we
smiling
serious right
and
now?
pulled out her phone to text someone while she watched me pretend to sip. I swear
They were the
I recognized
flowers.
her, so I kept coming back. And every time, she doubled whatever I said I was allergic to. For the final test, I pointed at a chocolate cake labeled contains tree nuts. Does this cake have nuts? She was already boxing it up. No.
Nope, it does not have nuts. Look at the box. Tree nuts. Are we done?
Completely nut free. I held up the box.
Are we stupid?
It says right here, tree nuts. Her face went red.
They were the finger heart, Adalis. W Adalis with the finger heart. Thank you, Adalis. They were the GG Easy fave. W Adalis. Thank you, Adalis. W Adalis.
No, there aren't nuts in that cake.
Dallas,
After
Dallas.
she stormed into the bathroom, I stood in the hallway and heard her voice, shaking. I'm poisoning her on purpose because I need her to lose Hugo's baby. It's not
What?
fair that she gets to stay in his life. Hugo was my ex-boyfriend,
Bro,
and the reason I
what?
even knew about this place. I pushed the door open and she spun around with the phone pressed to her ear. I'm not pregnant, she froze. Hugo showed me the ultrasound.
Thank you for the Sunday, Torin. W Torin with the Sunday.
He's a
Thank you.
pathological liar. Those are from Google, I said. You can see the watermark. Her face crumbled. I've been poisoning you for 2 weeks. I could have killed you. Yeah, you could have. I walked into the cafe my ex always talked about.
That's crazy.
My dad pointed at me and said, tell it that if it doesn't start behaving, I'm kicking it out. He always called me it because he wasn't my actual dad. I was an affair
They were the hiding gift, Monica. They were the flower, JH.
baby from when my mom
They were Sunday, Monica. W Monica with the Sunday.
cheated on him with another man, and he hated me for it. Okay, honey, my mom replied. She turned to me. Your father says that if you don't start behaving, he's kicking you. But before she could finish her sentence, I was already
They
getting
were
ready
flour.
to leave.
They were clutch.
I've had enough of this. I'm 18 now. I don't need you anymore. As I walked to the
14 more subs, 173K. Chat, lock in right now and subscribe if you want to set out. They were 6'7".
front door, my mom got up to walk me out. And when my dad wasn't looking, she handed me a shoebox. I'm sorry. I should have given this to you sooner. And before I could ask what was inside, she shoved me outside, slammed the door, and locked
Give
me
it a
out. I
clock,
sat
this
down on the
Skyfall.
curb and lifted the lid. And when I saw what was inside, I started crying. It was
We hit it. 173K. W 173K in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Let's go, baby. W 173K. They were the flower. Just Dan. W
petition
though.
for
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Shout out to Daniel Crew.
custody that my actual dad had filed for me. Underneath it was 5 more. He had filed for custody to legally be my dad 5 times. But it didn't make sense because my parents had always told me he was dead. Was that a lie? I looked closer at the petitions and saw my dad's address on it. It was around the block, so I walked there, not knowing if any of this was even real. The house was an expensive mansion. When I knocked on the address,
They were
a man
sorry.
opened the door holding a coffee mug. The second he saw my face, the mug shattered on the floor. Maddie?
Thank you for the dollar. W Isabel with the dollar. Thank you, Isabel. W
My
Isabel.
daughter, my
Thank
eyes
you.
filled up with tears. Dad, my parents told me you were dead.
That's a
He dropped to
Brodian.
his knees in the doorway. Well, they told me you didn't want to see me, so they must have lied about everything. He took me in and showed me to the huge and expensive bedroom
Oh
he'd
my
been saving
gosh.
for me since
Okay.
I was born.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Let's rewind
And
that.
showed me to the huge and
Why do you need all that space if all you're gonna put is the littlest bed and this and another thing?
expensive bedroom he'd been saving for me
Like, what's all the space for?
since I was born.
I don't get it, bro.
This
What?
is your home now. I hugged him. A few years later, my parents found out my dad was rich and called asking for money. I told them if they don't start behaving, I'm going no contact. My dad pointed at me and said, tell it, that if it doesn't start behaving. I
It's
slipped a
crazy.
hair tie into Julia's palm, and the school security guard passing by froze and screamed, how dare you deal substances in my home?
What? It's a hair tie. They were the $2, Isabel. W Isabel with the $2. Thank you, Isabel. W in the chat for Isabel with the $2. Thank you so much, Isabel. W.
Hallway. I stared at him and told him it was a hair
Thank
tie,
you.
but he was already grabbing our hands and walking us to the principal's office saying, no one passes pills in my hallways. I'm going to make sure you go to juvie
Dr.
for this.
Cohen.
When I told him he saw wrong, he said he'd been a guard long enough to know when a substance deal was happening. Both our moms were called in, and my
Floating
mom
heart.
said, tell me right now how long this has been going on. Julia's mom shakily asked what she'd swallowed. Then the principal said the police were already on their
The
way to pick me up.
police?
The guard got in my face
That's a
and
bit
asked if I knew
crazy.
what pills did to kids my age, and told my mom her daughter would rot in a cell before 20. Mom was crying, asking how I could ruin my life. Julia's mom asked Julia if she was already addicted, but Julia was silently crying,
Give her the
mouthing,
tree
"It's
gift,
a hair
Brian."
tie," over and over. I finally had enough and asked them to play the hallway camera footage. The guard agreed, so the principal pulled the footage up, and the footage showed me dropping a
Think of the 7 treat gifts. W Brian.
black hair tie into Julia's
Thank
hand.
you, Brian.
Play it again, the guard said, wiping his eyes. The principal zoomed in and played it again. That's clearly a hair tie, I said. The principal sighed loudly and called the police to say it was a
Give
false
her the hiding
alarm.
gift.
I turned to the guard. You said you've been
Monica.
a guard long enough to spot a deal?
Think of the $2 again, Isabel. Shout out to Naomi. W Isabel with the $2 once again. Thank you so much, Isabel. W Isabel in the chat, bro. Thank you.
How long is that exactly?
W.
A week? His jaw clenched before he muttered that this was his second week. I scoffed and turned to leave with Julia, but before I left, I pulled out a hair tie and grabbed a chunk of the guard's hair. He snapped,
What?
the hell are you doing?
is bro
As I
doing?
twisted his hair into a tight little ponytail. And
the
then I
hell?
leaned down, smiled, and said, just
Give her the
giving you
gold
some
coin.
substances, sir. I slipped a hair tie into Julia's. I woke up from my surgery with a pain in my stomach, but I couldn't speak because of the anesthesia. And that's when my surgeon asked
Oh,
the nurse
that's-
in Spanish, one of the clamps is missing. Did you count all the tools before we stitched her
nah.
up? I thought you counted them, the nurse said. And that's when the surgeon told her, I think we
Bro,
left a
we
clamp
got some rookie doctors. Imagine that happening. Like, a rookie doctor trying to help you out. Like, you're cooked. You know you're cooked with the surgery. They were the dollar, Richard. W Richard with the dollar. Thank you, Richard. W Richard, bro.
clamp
Thank you,
inside
dude.
her. The nurse immediately panicked, asking what to do. Nothing. We can't open her back up now. It would look suspicious, he said. I tried to tell them I understood every word, but my tongue still couldn't work because of the anesthesia. But if she gets an infection, she could die, the nurse told him. But the surgeon said they would just blame my diabetes since no one could know they messed up the surgery. Wait, I said, but it came out garbled. And so the surgeon told the nurse to sedate me because they needed me quiet while they figured this out.
What? They were the $2. Isabel, you're going to bed now? Alright, good night, Isabel. Thank you for the $2 and thank you for all the donations on the stream. W Isabel. Thank you so much, Isabel. For the 2. W Isabel. Thank you for the hiding of Darwin.
And so
Thank
the
you.
nurse pushed something into my IV that made me feel foggy, but I fought to stay awake. What if someone finds out? The nurse asked. No one will find
The
out.
GG
She doesn't
faith.
speak Spanish, the surgeon said. Then he confidently
What?
explained that by the time I woke up, they would have papers saying I had diabetes, so no one would catch them. This feels wrong, the nurse said, and I thought I was safe. But the doctor yelled, you want to lose your license? Remember, you counted the instruments, so you're also responsible. That's when I started to
Shout
feel my
out
tongue
to
again.
I'm going
so
to
I
bed
knew the
now.
anesthesia was wearing off. If she codes, we say it was diabetic shock. Understood? The surgeon asked. Understood. The
Thank you for the $2, Richard. W Richard with the $2. You're a new content creator? Nice, bro. They were the 2, bro. W.
nurse said, and that's when I said in
W.
perfect
Richard.
Spanish, I understood every single word you said. Their faces
Oh,
went white.
nah.
I switched to English, saying I wanted the hospital administrator, or else I was calling the police. And so the hospital administrator barged into my room, and after I told her
I'm a
everything,
new
she
content
rushed me into
creator.
surgery. When I woke up again, a new surgeon
were
was
hiding
standing
it.
over me, holding a huge clamp.
Shout out
This
to
was inside
Alexander.
your stomach, she said. I fainted
You
from
were
the shock.
6'7"
I woke up
Darwin.
from my surgery with a pain in my stomach, but I couldn't speak because of the anesthesia. And that's when my surgeon asked the nurse in Spanish, one of the clamps is missing. Did you count all the tools before we stitched her up? I thought you counted them, the
The
nurse said.
fair
And
eyes.
that's when the surgeon told her, I think we left a clamp inside her. The nurse immediately panicked, asking what to do. Nothing. We can't open her back up now. It would look suspicious.
You're
he
the
said.
treat
I
gift.
tried to tell them I understood every word, but my tongue still couldn't work because of the anesthesia. But if she gets an infection, she could die, the nurse told him. But the surgeon said they would just blame my diabetes since no one could know they messed up the surgery.
You were
Wait,
6'7"
I said,
Darwin.
but it came out garbled. And so the surgeon told the nurse to sedate me because they needed me quiet while they figured this out. And so the nurse pushed something into my IV that made me feel foggy.
Yeah, I
but
remember
thought-
when Speed's dad was on the stream. That was insane, bro. Thank you for the Sunday, Rylan. W. Rylan with the Sunday. They were the hiding gifts. W. Rylan.
to stay awake. What if someone finds out? The nurse asked. No one will find out. She doesn't speak Spanish, the surgeon said. Then he confidently explained that by the time I woke up, they would have papers saying I had diabetes, so no one would catch them. This feels wrong, the nurse said, and I thought
That's
I was safe.
crazy.
But the doctor yelled, you want to
Wait, did I just watch this 2 times? Shout out to the VR bros. Yo, I'm actually stupid. I'm sorry. They were the high five,
I
Darwin.
woke up from I bet
W. Darwin with the high
down to
five.
grab a pack of yogurt, but when I turned to ask my 5-year-old if he liked strawberry, he was gone. 5 minutes ago, he'd been tugging my sleeve right beside me. Mom, can we play hide and seek? I said. When we get home, buddy. After the store,
Hide and
then I bent
seek?
down for the yogurt, and now he was gone. I called his name down the aisle, and nothing came back. I jogged to the next aisle, and a woman with a cart turned and stared. Have you seen a little boy in a Spider-Man shirt? Her face went soft, and she shook her
Spider-Man
head,
shirt?
so I bolted. I tore through the aisles, screaming his name until an employee grabbed my arms at the
Thank you for the
register.
dollar, Richard. W. Richard with the dollar. Again, and they were 6'7" Isabel. W. Isabel and Richard. Thank you both.
Walkie, and a minute later, the speakers crackled. Code Adam, 5-year-old boy, red hair, Spider-Man shirt. The front doors slammed shut,
They were that
and blue
again.
vests appeared at every exit. A man in flannel pushed through the crowd and grabbed my shoulder. I saw a guy in a baseball cap walking toward
A
the bathrooms
baseball
with a little
cap?
redhead in a Spider-Man shirt about 10 minutes ago. I fell to my knees as 2 officers sprinted past toward the back of the store. A walkie crackled nearby. Found him, camping aisle. He's fine. A cop turned to the guy in flannel who scratched his head. Maybe I imagined it. I sprinted to the back and pulled back the flap of a display tent. My 5-year-old sat cross-legged inside eating a granola bar he'd grabbed off some shelf. He grinned up at me.
What? Bro just took a granola bar and ate it. I wonder if you could get caught for just taking a little granola bar and eating it. And just putting the wrapper back. Like it was perfectly fine. Or just throwing it out. That would be... Nah, that would... I don't know. I wonder.
You couldn't find me. I hid when
Or
you
the
got
treat gift, Shawnee. You'll take a potato chip and eat it. Here's the thing, though. What do you mean eat it? You gotta open the chip bag. It's different for cookies. Like, you could open the cookie, like, lid and just take one. Snatch it, you know? And eat it. I don't know, though.
yogurt. He'd watched the doors lock. He'd
Give it a
watched the
tree
cops
gift.
arrive. He'd watched me fall to my knees from inside a $39 tent. I pulled him into me
$39
sobbing, and he patted my
tent?
head. Why are you sad, Mommy? You said we could play after the store. I laughed and sobbed into his hair. Yeah, after the store, not in it. You're grounded, mister. I bent down to. My teacher was walking down each row, confiscating our phones when she stopped at my desk. She caught
Give
me
it a tree
mid-text
gift.
and held her hand out. Hand it over with your phone unlocked. I immediately got scared
That's
because
crazy. Why would you hand a phone to a teacher? Shout out to Catherine.
I knew she wouldn't like what I was doing. Suddenly, she grabbed my phone and read my text out loud. My fridge-built teacher is about to take our. My manager.
Yo,
told
I
me
just
customer
skipped the store. I'm gonna
My
crash out.
mid-text and held her hand out. Hand it over with your phone unlocked. I immediately got scared because I knew she wouldn't like what I was doing. Suddenly, she grabbed my phone and read my text out loud. My fridge-built teacher is about to take our
My fridge bill, teacher. I did not hear that. What?
phones again. Text you later. It took
Over to
everything
Sarah.
in me to hold back my laugh. The class tried not to laugh.
Thank-
Her face was red. Did 10
Thank you for the live disco, Richard. W Richard with the live disco. Thank you, Richard. W Richard, bro. Thank you for the live disco.
for a month. She dropped my phone in her drawer. She sat at her desk
Shout
and
out to
started
Cool
scrolling through
GP
YouTube
boy.
shorts with the volume all the way up. It was unfair that she takes our phones every day but never puts hers down. Even as she passed out the test,
Does she even
kept
have a phone, bro? Like what? That's the
scrolling
Sailor
through
Spikes.
Instagram.
They were the flowers. They were 6'7" Rocky.
This test is worth 50% of your
Roxy.
grade. Make sure to focus, which I know is hard for you iPad kids, but none of us could focus because she was nonstop laughing. I looked around to see if everyone was as annoyed as me. Were we going to fail because of her? After lunch,
Why
she
did bro take their phone? Why did this? I can't speak. You guys know what I mean though. They were live. Let's go, Webby. W Webby with the live. Let's go. Thank you, Webby. W Webby.
slammed a stack of papers on her desk. I graded your tests. Every single one of you failed. We're retaking it tomorrow. I raised my
What?
arms. What the hell was wrong with her? That's when I knew I had to do something to teach her a lesson. And that's when I got an idea to make sure she gets caught using her phone. I wrote an anonymous note to the principal. Walk into Mrs. P's class during our next exam, and you'll find out exactly why her students are failing. I slipped it under the principal's door before I went home. I
Thank you
felt
for the
evil.
Sunday noodle. W noodle with the Sunday.
But I
Thank you.
knew that if she didn't get caught doing something she shouldn't, then my parents would think that it was my fault I failed the test, and I'd be grounded for life. The next day, she passed out the retake. Let's see if you stupid kids can actually pass this time. 5 minutes in, she picked up her phone and started
Alright.
FaceTiming her friend like always. Hey girl, no, I'm not busy right now. I'm just with the annoying little kids.
Are we
She literally
serious?
didn't care about us because her feet were on the table. I smiled because this is exactly what I wanted. That's when the classroom
we
door
serious?
opened behind her. The principal walked in and stood there watching her laugh at her screen.
Bro,
She
seeing
didn't
everything.
even notice because she was too busy laughing with her friend. Mrs. P, hand the phone over. Unlocked. She spun around. Her face went white. She hung up on her friend and handed it over, and he scrolled through her texts. I could see her face going white, and I knew she was hiding
That's
something
insane.
from him. His eyes widened and read them out loud. I turn up the volume on my reels during tests. Half of them can't even focus. It's hilarious watching them struggle. The class
You're
gasped.
lying if
None of us expected that.
RTR,
He read another.
Corbin.
One of the students said I was built like a fridge, but I'll make sure they get a 0 on their test. Nobody checks anyway. I giggled because it was still funny.
That's
Even
crazy.
The principal found my joke funny and put the phone down. You're fired. She walked out. The
Oh.
principal unlocked her drawer and slid it open. Come get your phones. I grabbed mine first and texted my friend, fridge build teacher just got fired. My teacher was walking down each
Yo.
row
Fridge built teacher though. Like that's insane. Like calling someone a fridge, bro. It's actually insane, chat. What's up, Victoria? What's up?
My manager told
Silly
me customer
goober.
reviews were at an all-time low because of older employees like me not being friendly enough and demanded I smile more when people walk into the shop. I suspected the real reason was because he'd raised prices by 25%, but I needed this job to
25?
afford rent, so I just went back to my register. Over the next month, I smiled at every customer and asked about their day, but they just scrolled their phones and threw their cards on the counter, then hit the
Yeah,
one-star
I don't
button
think that's the reason, bro. Like what? How is that the
on
reason?
their way out. My manager called me in and said the reviews were still going down, and if I couldn't fix them this month, I'd be fired. So I went back to my register, but this time with a notepad. Every time a customer came through the line, I asked them, is there anything we could do better? Most didn't respond, but the ones that did all said the same thing. I wrote down every response, and at the end of the month, the manager called me in again. Scores are still down. I'm going to have to let you go. But I took out my notepad
nah.
and slammed it on his table. Over 500 responses, showing every customer
500?
was very unhappy with the prices. Nobody
Damn.
mentioned me. Some elderly people even said I was the only reason they still come here because I'm the only person who says hi to them. My manager was lost for words, and the next
You're
day
lying
brought the
of
prices
sick.
back down while I kept my job. My manager told
W.
my Tinder date didn't look like his photo. I opened my fridge and somehow it was fully
Okay, actually,
my
I want to
Tinder
watch
date
this
didn't
one.
look like his photos, and when I found out why it was too late, when
Shout out to Lanny. They were live. Let's go, Gail. W Gale with the live disco. Thank you, Gale. W Gale.
When he showed up for our first date, he looked slightly different than his photos. He explained he'd gained and lost 100 pounds, so it slightly changed his face, and I didn't think much. We had a great time.
Gained and lost 100 pounds. They were the live disco. Zig and Cameron. W, Zig and Cameron with the live discos. Thank you, Zig and Cameron. W's. They were 6'7". Rixel. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but W, Cameron, and Zig.
And started officially dating. But then 1 month later, Daniel randomly stopped texting me. I called him over and over, but he never responded. And I was appalled because how could my own boyfriend ghost me? But one day, while watching the news and saw his name,
they were the laughing disco. Zig. W, Zig with the laughing disco. Thank you, Zig. W, Zig.
Had died in a car crash a few days ago. I felt sick
what?
and cried for days. Then went online and found Daniel's funeral information. I walked into the funeral in all black, and it was my first time
Think
meeting
for
his
the laughing
family.
disco. GG. W, GG with the laughing disco. Thank you, GG. W, GG.
A woman asked who I was, and when I told her Daniel's girlfriend, she replied, "That's strange. Daniel never said he was dating anyone. I figured he just liked keeping his life private." But when I walked up to the open casket, I was shocked. The man inside looked just like Daniel's dating profile photos, but different from the Daniel I saw in person. This dead person couldn't be my boyfriend. I was confused and looked around, scanning for an explanation. That's when I saw Daniel alive in the front row with the woman from earlier with 2 kids nearby. He saw me and immediately tried to move, but I'd already walked up to him. I asked him what was going on. I thought he was dead, and he looked me in the eyes and said, "I have no idea who you are. Please leave me alone, I'm mourning." The woman asked him, "Jeremy, who's this?" And I replied, "I'm his girlfriend." I whipped out my phone and showed her the photos of me and him on a date from a week ago, as well as our messages on the dating app. Her face went pale as she loudly yelled at him, "Jeremy, you used your brother's identity to cheat on me, and I'm now finding out."
That's insane. They were the laughing disco. Zig. W, Zig with the laughing disco. Thank you so much, Zig. W, Zig, bro. W. Thank you, Zig.
At his funeral, the whole crowd turned to him. His face was beet red, and as he walked out in shame, I finally realized why he looked different in person than on the dating profile. He was pretending to be his brother Daniel on the app, so that if anyone he knew ever stumbled across it, he'd have a cover story. My Tinder date didn't look like his photos.
Alright, chat. Let's watch another.
And somehow it was fully stocked. I hadn't bought groceries in weeks, so my heart was pounding with fear. Who filled up my fridge while I was at work?
Chat, I might try to go live a bit earlier, you know, so I don't get sleepy, because right now I'm sleepy. They were the $10 Real Verity. W Real Verity with the $10. Thank you, Real Verity.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you. Hi, I'm Verity. They were the 10. W Verity. W Verity in the chat. Thank you so much, bro. For the 10. What's up, dude?
And that's when I noticed the kitchen was sparkling clean. Floors spotless, corners dusted, glasses polished. The more I searched, the more scared I got. I wanted to call the police, but I didn't know what to say because there was no sign of break-in. So I called my best friend. "Did you clean my house when I was gone?" She laughed, thinking it was a joke. "No, I don't even have a spare key. Maybe you have a secret admirer." I didn't find it funny because it felt like someone was stalking me. The next morning, I called a locksmith who drilled in a deadbolt that you could only open if you had the key. But that night when I got home, I saw someone had broken in again because my laundry was folded on the bed in perfect squares. That's when my phone buzzed with a text from my landlord. An anonymous number texted me to cover your rent for the rest of the year.
Shout out to Pickle, bro.
All $24,000 has been paid. My hands were shaking because I hadn't even told anyone how much my rent was or that it was overdue. And the next morning, I ordered security cameras online and installed them above my door and around the house. The next day, I watched the footage on my phone from my car. My boy best friend Luke turned his key in my lock holding a bag of groceries and started putting them away. I drove home instantly, and when I walked in, he dropped the bag.
You were the press F.
"Luke, what are you doing?" He was shocked. "I was gonna leave before you got home. How did you get in without a key?" "I have a key. I copied your spare 3 years ago." "Why would you do all of this?" "I thought someone was stalking me." He looked at the floor. "I know you're going through a lot right now, and I didn't know how to help you without you telling me to stop. So I went behind your back to try and make your life better." "Luke, were you the one who paid my rent? That was $24,000. I've been saving since we were 16. It's okay." He walked across the kitchen, and I could feel his breath on mine. "No one's ever done this for me before." He laughed. "No one's ever broken into your home?" I laughed and kissed him. He froze and kissed me back like he'd been waiting his whole life. I opened my fridge and somehow it was fully stocked.
First of all, they were 6'7", Sabrina. Why is your What is this?
Have a piece of pecan pie, Aunt Jemima said at Thanksgiving. I was confused because she knew I was allergic to nuts. Sorry, I can't. I'm
You're the happy
allergic. Her
poop.
face turned red.
Thank you
with
for the
anger.
laughing disco Harmony. W Harmony with the laughing disco. Thank you so much, Harmony. W Harmony. They were 6-7 Zig. And Andrea.
You're so
W
spoiled. I spent all
Harmony,
night working
though.
on this dessert, she snapped. One piece won't kill you. She handed me the fork, and I knew she wasn't going to stop trying to get me to eat it. I shook my
Give
head
her the
and
high
pushed the
five,
plate away
Sabrina. W Sabrina with a high five.
from me, but she
Give her the laughing disco, Josiah. W Josiah with the laughing disco. Thank you, Josiah. And thank you for the 6-7, Sabrina.
grabbed my hand. If you don't eat this, I won't be coming to any family gatherings again, Aunt Jemima threatened. My parents gasped in shock. Don't worry, Cassie. You don't have to eat it, Mom told me sharply. But Dad looked extremely upset because Aunt Jemima was his sister, and he didn't want to let her down. I tried to make a joke to lighten the mood, but that's when it happened. Aunt Jemima grabbed my
Peter,
head
I can't, bro. Give her the gold
and
coin.
shoved the fork with the pecan pie in my mouth. I was so shocked I couldn't move. My lips immediately swelled up and I was struggling to breathe. My mom ran over with her EpiPen, but Aunt Jemima held her back. She's faking it. Don't help her. I blacked out.
What?
And when I woke up, I was in a hospital bed with my parents hovering over me.
Give her
I
the
looked
treat
over and
gift.
saw Aunt Jemima in the corner. She shook her head like I was the one who did something wrong. You should be apologizing to me. You ruined Thanksgiving dinner for this whole family. My dad just
What
shrugged
did
and
bro
defended
do?
her like always. It wasn't bad intentioned. I just smiled. If you want me to ruin family dinner so badly, then your wish is my command. She didn't understand what I meant, but I was coming up with a revenge plan. A few weeks later, me and my friends made special brownies and brought them to Christmas dinner. They were
Give her
Aunt
the W.
Jemima's favorite kind, chocolate chunk. I held
Give
out
her
the
the
platter
treat
as soon as
gift.
I walked in. I just wanted to thank you for proving to everyone how real my nut allergy is, I said sweetly. Here's a peace offering. She looked
Why won't you tell me what you use for the thing? Because you're spamming. Ah.
a little skeptical at first, but ate one quickly, then another, then another. By the time we sat down for dinner, the special brownies had kicked in for Aunt Jemima, and she started
Wait, what? What did she put in the brownies, bro? What?
rambling about Thanksgiving. She pointed at me. I shoved that
Give her the
pie in her
treat
mouth on
gift.
Thanksgiving because she's always getting spoiled with the
It's the only way you see it. Trust me, I see your messages. I don't feel like replying to them, bro. Because you're spamming. Shout out to Star. Shout out to Robert.
attention from you guys. Everything is always about her, never about me. I wanted you
Give her
all
the
to pay
GG
more attention
gift.
to me. She just confessed to harming me on purpose. The whole table went silent. My mom dropped her fork and
Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out before I end stream. I'm ending stream in like probably after this short. Shout out to Wildland more. You know what? We'll watch one more short after this, but then I gotta go.
shock, and my dad finally stood up to her. Get out of my house, he said.
All right, dude.
Aunt Jemima reached for another brownie like she didn't even hear him. I leaned in close as she chewed. You were right, Aunt Jemima, I whispered. One piece won't kill you. Her eyes went wide as she finally realized
That's
I
a
had
Dirt
poisoned
Squad.
the brownies she was eating. For the first time, she had nothing to say. Have a piece of pecan. My husband walked onto my flight holding a baby we don't have. My husband stepped through the
A
cabin
baby? What?
door with an infant pressed against his chest and a young woman carrying a diaper bag beside him. He had no idea I was standing 10 feet away with my apron still on and a pen in my hand.
Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out before I end stream, and type in the chat that you subscribed and I'll give you a shout out. Or just type 1. You know what? Just type 1 to make it easier. And make sure you like the stream before I end stream too. Alright? Just warning you guys, because after this short, I'm ending stream. But you guys can type 1 after the short finishes, because I won't give many shout outs.
And I stepped behind the galley curtain.
Only
before he
after
could
the
spot
short
me.
I will.
He settled into row 24, and the woman sat beside him with the baby in her lap. She wouldn't look at him. Her shoulders were stiff, and her eyes stayed locked on the window like she was trying to disappear. He whispered something to her, and she nodded without smiling. He looked up and saw me. Every drop of color left his face. He unbuckled his seatbelt,
Oh,
walked
nah.
straight to the galley, and grabbed my arm. Baby, listen to me, he whispered. She's
Hey,
a
yo.
coworker. Her ex is dangerous. He glanced back toward the
What?
cabin and leaned closer.
Okay,
I'm just
why is
helping
bro
her get the baby to
smiling
her
like
mom's
that?
house in California. You know I don't like you calling me at work, so I handled it myself. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd worry. His voice was soft and steady. I'd heard that voice before. I squeezed his hand and looked him right in the eyes. I trust you. He kissed my forehead and walked back to his seat.
Oh,
I handed a
nah.
woman in
They
row
were
6
hiding
her
it.
ginger ale, and my eyes went straight back to row 24. Halfway through the flight, he got up to use the bathroom, and I moved fast. I sat down next to the woman, and she looked at me like I was holding a knife. I'm his wife, I
What?
said quietly. quietly, "I'm not here to make a scene. I just need the truth." I pulled a napkin from my apron, wrote my number on it, and pressed it into her hand. She didn't say a word, but she held onto that napkin like her life depended on it. That night in my hotel room, my phone rang. Her voice was shaking. "He didn't help me," she said. "He's the one who hurt me at an office party. And when I told him I was pregnant, he just offered me money every month, as long as I stayed quiet and stayed away." She stood beside me, holding the baby when I came back home, and 2 police officers stood behind us when he opened the door. My husband walked on.
All right, you know what time it is. It is time to end the stream, but I do have to give shout outs because I said so. Shout out to who do we shout out first? Oh my gosh, shout out to Stitch Lover, shout out to Emma, shout out to Betsy, shout out to Flash, shout out to Sweet Chocolate, shout out to Narix, shout out to Anonymous, shout out to Kane, shout out to Emma, shout out to Spencer, shout out to Fried Chicken, shout out to Dark Eel, shout out to Mr. Big Player, shout out to John Paul. They were the 6-7 Zig. Shout out to John, shout out to Kaden, shout out to Astro, shout out to Noob, shout out to Brayden, shout out to Jessica, shout out to Five Nights at Plushies, shout out to Aiden, shout out to Blue Bacon, shout out to Joey, shout out to They Were the Tree Gift, shout out to Animal Hospital's head nurse, shout out to Cool Man, shout out to Felix, shout out to Cream for Los Alos, what? Shout out to Plane Aviation, shout out to Mug, and shout out to Jace. Okay. If you didn't get a shout out, my bad. Here, I'm going to give more shout outs. Shout out to Noah. They were the tree gift. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Pika. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to... But you guys got to be subscribed if you want a shout out. They were the live. Let's go, Blue Idiot Guy. W Blue Idiot Guy with the live. Let's go. Thank you, bro. W Blue Idiot Guy. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Regan. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Gamer Boys. Shout out to Mitch. And shout out to Savage Edits. Alright, if you didn't get a shout out, my bad. I'll give you a shout out on tomorrow's stream. I'll be live tomorrow at around the same time I went live today, most likely. Alright? If I'm not, well, I'll probably be. But yeah. If I'm not, I'll be live the day after. But I'm most likely will be live tomorrow at around the same time I went live today. So all you have to do is subscribe to make sure you get a shout out on tomorrow's stream. I can't give any more shout outs though for this stream. I will give more shout outs though tomorrow. Alright guys, so make sure you are subscribed so you get a shout out on tomorrow's stream, alright? But yeah. And also, one more thing before I go. Guys, let me just move this. You know what? Shout out to the Hamiltons. Alright. Give the gold coin. But chat, if you go to my channel, alright? I have a Discord server. So if you have Discord and you want to join my Discord server, it will be in this, hold up. It will be in this link right here where my mouse is at. All you have to do is go to my channel and click on it, and you can join my Discord server if you have a Discord account. Alright, and in my Discord server, you can chat with me and get announcements for what I'm saying and stuff, like for important stuff. And you also get notified for when I'm live, so you could join in. Alright? And you could chat with my fans too. So make sure you join my Discord server, by the way, guys. But I'm going to end stream now, so I hope you guys have a good day, okay, guys? I'll be live tomorrow at around the same time I went live today, alright? Remember that, guys. Okay, thank you all for joining the stream, alright? Bye, guys, and thank you for the donations and gifts. We got a lot of those. Thank you so much. And thank you all for subscribing. We hit 173K, holy. Alright, bye, chat. Thank you all for joining. Peace, guys.